At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
That's Lynnell Willingham. He's the youngest in charge. I'm merely Josh Graham. And the 2026 NBA draft is officially in the books. And yet, it seems the entire basketball world has already turned the page to talk about free agency and rumors and all these things. So let's start with a message to the association. Dear NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and the league's TV partners, the draft should be treated as a much bigger deal than this. And frankly, the current state of the draft's product itself has made it abundantly clear that the NBA needs to have more respect for its basketball fans. Whoever is in charge of the TV broadcast might not understand basketball, or at least how basketball fans speak. Lynnell, since when did it become such a no-no to, God forbid, criticize a draft choice or disagree with a pick?
So when you said that earlier, as we were getting ready for the show, you kind of saw like this light bulb go off in my mind. Because I'll be honest, at first I thought you were being a little nitpicky with this. But when I think about the actual evaluation and the analysis that we get on the broadcast, now I can't speak to last night's analysis in particular because of where I was at consuming the draft. I didn't get to hear, Legs and all those guys that were on the desk. But I know in previous years, this has been something that has been a major talking point and a complaint for a lot of people. I'll say this. I think you're spot on in terms of I don't think I've ever – even when the Wizards chose John Vesley, that clip is circulating right now when they were supposed to take Kawhi Leonard and they're talking about it. I think it's Jay Bilas saying, yeah, I heard the Wizards are really interested in Kawhi. And then it's John Vesley getting selected, and people are like, who? And he's making out with his girlfriend in a sloppy ass way. It was disgusting. But yeah, like even that pick years ago was not criticized in real time, and I just think you're right in terms of we don't get a whole lot of astute analysis. But Denton brought up a point earlier too that I thought was really interesting in terms of why maybe we're not getting the analysis that we crave as basketball fans. When you've only got 5 minutes on the clock to get it done, it's kind of hard to provide that astute analysis to me.
Well, if you
it forces
only
you to be cookie
have
cutter a little bit.
a few minutes because you decide to fill the time that is otherwise aligned for basketball content with the lifestyle version of the draft where prospects and their parents are being interviewed in the post-selection process and asked the same question over, how are you feeling? That is what should be time allotted to break down the basketball.
What would you prefer? Because I think we're kind of on the same page with this, where I agree that the NBA, in terms of its production quality with the draft and the analysis, so on and so forth, it's nothing compared to the National Football League. Can't hold
even
its
in the NFL, to be fair to the NBA, the closest thing to criticism we got in round one from one of the broadcasts was Nick Saban on a hot mic saying the Cowboys reached on that UCF edge. And then when he was asked about it on the broadcast, said, oh, yeah, this guy's got traits, and we like this, and we like that. Didn't want to go there. Now, there is criticism. We saw it with Ty Simpson when the LA Rams took him 13th overall. Nothing close to that when Braden Burries is on the board, and yet Moretz Johnson, one of Dusty May's boys, goes 9th overall. It's not even a discussion whether or not they're choosing the best basketball player at that moment. Instead, no, we need to ask how Moretz Johnson is feeling rather than talking. There is such a wide gulf between what is being presented by the league and also its TV partners and how basketball fans talk. Because the way basketball fans talk,
I agree with
simple.
You on that.
Do you like the pick or do you not like the pick? Sometimes you're not going to like the pick. Explain why. Be willing to do that. It's not raining on the parade of these players' dreams to say you don't like the pick. Those guys are perfectly happy making generational wealth tonight. If somebody says they don't like the pick, it's fine. And secondly, to reaffirm this point, Lynnell, did you notice? Like, one thing that became a staple with NBA draft broadcasts, player comps. We don't even get player comps anymore because probably the analysts have become self-conscious about it and don't like it when it doesn't go well. You get the screenshots where you said, well, this guy reminded us a lot of this all-star, and he didn't pan out. So we don't even get that so much anymore. But here's the thing. Do you know who likes comps? Fans. Basketball fans who watch these broadcasts.
But I'll say this, though. What I think you're underscoring is there is a market for the storytelling. What I think the NBA is failing to do, Josh, they're failing to strike that proper balance of both. Because I think both can exist within the space where you can spend part of the broadcast or part of the evaluation of the pick, post-pick, talking about the fit, talking about what he was as a collegiate player, strengths and weaknesses. Do you like the pick? And we can storytell. Like, I think there's room for
You want to know the fix? Here's the fix. Right here. How about night one is just the lottery? Rather than do the first 30 picks.
And then
how about
break it
night
up?
one? Night one is the lottery, and then the rest of the
That's a
draft
fascinating
is night
thought, honestly.
So that way, night two isn't just the second-round picks with players that are never going to see the floor. It's the rest of the first round, and then you get round two. You do that and just have night one be the lottery. What makes the NBA different than the NFL draft? You have the lottery, and people care about the lottery and remember who goes in the lottery. So just have night one be the lottery and do that. Or if you want to make it a 3-night event like the NFL has, have night two be the rest of the first round and then night three be the second round. Just, again, there should be time to talk about the basketball. And now let's get to the most glaring sign of disrespect. The hats. Yes, the hats. It was bad enough that these are the photos and videos that these players will have for the rest of their life, and the league's just willingly letting these guys wear the wrong hat. But from a more practical perspective, Lynnell, it sours the TV product anytime you watch it. Like, honestly, it was a great first round, a great lottery. Namely because there wasn't one trade that happened in the lottery. We only got one guy put on the wrong hat because it was the Giannis trade, and you had Nate Ament stepping on stage with the number 13 pick. We also knew who all the players were. There weren't there weren't international guys really in the top 20. They were all college basketball players. You didn't have any alternative path players, so you had vested interest. You watched these guys in the tournament. But then once you got past the lottery, and we're sitting there waiting to figure out where Abuka Okori from Stanford's playing, and no one on the set knows, and then he's putting on an OKC hat that was actually moved to Memphis, but wait, is being rerouted to Detroit. That's just not good for anybody.
But Josh,
my thing with that issue.
My thing with that is like, what are they supposed to do with that? Like, these are transactions, dude. But you're gonna mess up. You're gonna change the entire calendar around one event.
Yes,
that doesn't make sense to do.
Well, no, just. Why doesn't it make sense to just start the league year before the draft or have the draft later so that way you don't have this problem? Have some respect for the draft.
I don't think that's a lack of respect for the draft. I think they just
it's a lack of respect for the players.
They do a better job in terms of problem solving because what's happening is these transactions are happening in real time. Like, they're not robots. Like, it takes time to figure out, hey, the terms of this deal has been agreed to. And it doesn't sync up with the player walking on the stage.
We do that in the NFL all the time.
Josh, but their line of communication is a lot quicker.
Here's a trade.
For whatever reason, their line of communication is a lot quicker.
Well, here's what I'm saying. It's a sign of disrespect to the players making them wear the wrong hat.
Josh,
it's a sign of disrespect to the fans not knowing. Because you can fix it, and you're not. And people have been complaining about it for years and years and years. It's disrespectful to the TV partner. It's disrespectful to the fans who have no idea what's happening. And it's disrespectful to the players. It's just so blatant. It's blatant. Fix it. Fix it. You can fix it. Fix it. IBM is met with difficult problems every single day. And these big businesses can't just throw their arms up and say, oh, it's too tough. Let's not figure it out. Fix it. And the fact that they don't shows you they don't care.
You think that's the biggest problem with the NBA draft, though? Like,
no, but it's the most glaring and obvious, easy example to prove the point.
In the grand scheme of things, in terms of the NBA's problems and things that they want to throw resources at, how high is the draft on the totem pole is my point.
It's in see, here's the thing.
That
what you're talking about, you are hitting at the problem. The draft should feel bigger than it is. And the reason the league's missing an opportunity here, because we talked about this in the context of college baseball before, how it's good for college baseball or for Major League Baseball if college baseball is healthy. It's great for the NFL that college football is a healthy product so that you don't have to spend one marketing dollar on Fernando Mendoza before he steps into your league and people know who this person is. Healthy college basketball is good for the NBA and vice versa. The NBA has an issue that the NFL does not have that they should be looking to try to fix. And it's a splinter between college and NBA fans that shouldn't be there. When you ask a college football fan, hey, do you like the NFL? It's almost like a circle. The Venn diagram is a circle. It's like, yes, we like football. But for some reason, when it comes to the NBA and college basketball, you have the Venn diagram where it's like, oh, it's smaller in the middle, where people like the NBA but not college and vice versa. And both sides deserve blame for this. The NBA trying to undercut college basketball by creating the G League and Ignite path that failed. College basketball deserves blame for not embracing the payment of players until 5 years ago. But it's an issue that needs to be fixed.
Why do you view the G League as the NBA trying to undercut college basketball?
No. G League Ignite path. G League Ignite path, where they created an alternative path for top high school prospects to go and forego college basketball. It ended up failing
because college
once NIL was introduced.
Though,
but that's undercutting college basketball.
But it's not with any malicious intent. College isn't for everybody. It's just not.
Okay, why doesn't the NFL have an alternative path? Because they know it would undercut their partner, college football.
You don't have to go to college to play in the NFL.
You kind of do.
if you're good enough out of high school and decide that you want to play, we haven't seen it happen. But if you're good enough out of high school, you're viewed as a top high school prospect, and no one's done it, it'd be unprecedented. But if there's no rule saying that you can't.
There isn't a rule, but you kind of do. That's the point. There is really no other path. You kind of do. Go to the CFL.
If you're good enough, we've seen you're going to get put on a roster. Bottom line.
Largely, the question is, why isn't the NBA draft a bigger deal? How come the NBA draft's going on, and yet we have people wanting to quickly move on to talking about rumors on July 1st rather than talking about the draft that's happening in this moment?
Because the NBA offseason is a mega machine, and the draft is just a part of it in terms of the big-time transactions that we're expecting to see here this offseason. And I disagree that the draft is not a big deal. Like, I think it's 110% a big deal. And basketball fans across the country last night, when the first round was happening, right, cared about this thing, 100%. But now that it's night 2 and we're talking about second-round picks that maybe people didn't know, right, the interest level dies out a little bit. I understand that totally. I don't think there's a problem with it. I don't like this you trying to pit NBA against college basketball. I think that's like...
It has been pitted, though. It's not the same as college football in the NFL.
Why do you think that way, though?
Well, because we see what college football in the NFL is, and it's not the same for college basketball in the NBA, and it should be.
How is it different, though?
I just explained it. It's college football in the NFL.
Because the G
Everybody
League Ignite
seems to like
exists?
both.
It doesn't even exist anymore, though.
No. Talking about college basketball fans now. Talking about college basketball fans who don't like the NBA and NBA fans that don't like college basketball. Like this.
Do you think it has anything to do with the drastic difference in the product? The NFL and college football's product is a lot closer to one another. I think the college basketball product and the NBA product is totally different in terms of especially regular season basketball, in terms of the effort level. That's the one thing that I always give credit to college basketball for. Guys aren't out there mailing it in like you may catch. Like we always talk about a random January game, a random November game, I guess is a better example. When you see guys mailing it in, that doesn't happen in college basketball. And I think that may be the reason why, maybe a fan would prefer college to the NBA.
310-840-4910. Why isn't the NBA draft a larger deal, or do you believe it is appropriately large? 310-840-4910. Transitioning to the largest NBA headline of the day, is Austin Reaves worth a max contract for the Lakers? That's next on Westwood One Sports Night.
Go to commercial.
The NFL has decided Brendan Sorsby will not be entering the league this season. The quarterback will now have to focus on next year's draft in a potentially loaded class, including Arch Manning and Dante Moore. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
Why isn't the NBA draft a bigger deal? 310-840-4910. That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham. Maybe one of the answers to that, all the headlines we get out of the NBA, another exclusive NBA experience. You don't get this in any other sport. The 3 to 4 weeks that follow the season ending are arguably as interesting as the games that are played to decide the championship. The draft tonight and then the start of free agency next week. Austin Reaves signs to a max contract with the LA Lakers. Lynnell, unless you think a player can be the second best player on a title team, you probably shouldn't give them the max. Now, before you cite past examples like Draymond Green or Rudy Gobert getting maxes that was before the second apron structure that was introduced in 2023. There's an added emphasis today on how you spend your money. But with Luka obviously being the bell cow, do you think Austin Reaves is good enough to be a number 2 for LA, an LA title contender?
Look, they're going to have to do a lot of work to improve between the margins, but more than likely, no, I don't believe he could be a co-star for Luka and then be a title contender within the Western Conference. I'm not even sure that he is worth a max contract, if I'm being frank, right? Like, Austin Reaves, I think, is a great story, but in terms of his best role, I think he's a number 3 at best on a championship team.
Do you agree with that appraisal then? That if you don't feel it's a second best team on or second best player on a title team, and you're on a team trying to win a championship, is an obvious qualifier as well, that you should be giving a player a max contract?
I mean, you got to fill the salary cap somehow. It's the best way that they can fill the cap, is what I would say. Because, like, they got to fill the space.
But it's different now. Well, what about a few years from now? Because here's the issue ultimately.
You make that move because you don't think you can get any of the other big fish that are available.
Right
you don't
now,
have the assets.
because this is the thing. When you sign a guy to a max at a multi-year deal, the bottom line is the Lakers are once again acting like a mom-and-pop organization. By giving Austin Reaves the max, they're acting like a small market team such as the Charlotte Hornets would. Small market franchises would overpay a guy like Austin Reaves because they know they can't land a big fish in free agency. So you have to kind of roll the dice on those guys. But these are the LA Lakers. You're the biggest brand, and you have Luka Doncic. Like, you will always be able to land the top free agent. So limiting your capacity
But Josh,
for the future doesn't make a ton of sense.
Free agency in the NBA doesn't exist anymore, man. Unless you have assets to trade for win-now players, you're not going to get some big fish in free agency. It doesn't work like that. The best guys do not hit the market. Sign-in trades is what we see happen. The sign-and-trade era has kind of eliminated free agency to an extent. In terms of the top guys, I think what free agency has become is about the mid-level exception and guys like Chris Middleton and that'll be available to receive
Well, that's
that.
fine. So ultimately, you make the move in your words because you have the cap space to do so. But the cap picture 2 years from now could look a lot different than the cap picture right now is. And in the first and second apron structure, and you're the LA Lakers, like, you want to give yourself maximum flexibility. And this doesn't seem like a move that gives you that. This seems like an unnecessary roll of the dice.
I think if you're the Lakers, I look at it from the perspective of what else were they supposed to do. But I get where you're coming from here, because I agree. Like, I don't think he is necessarily worth a max deal. But then I quickly ask myself, well, what else were they supposed to do? Talking about the LA Lakers, who else were they going to go out and get? What would be a better allocation of the cap space? Who is going to be the number 2 for Luka Doncic here? That's the question.
Who's going to be the next unhappy superstar? It's always a fun game.
But the Lakers don't have anything that anyone wants. They don't have control of their picks in the future because of the Anthony Davis. They traded ones away. Like, this is, I don't know, man. This is tough because I view the Lakers like a mom and pop shop. Like, they're not run like a real organization to me. I think Rob Pelinka and company have done a terrible job, drafting, developing, and retaining talent. I think I'm getting gassy here, guys.
Are these hiccups?
It's the Powerade. It's the hiccups. It's a crazy case of the hiccups.
See,
this damn
your team Powerade. Usually I have Gatorade Zero in the studio. Went to the Costco today. Enjoyed a glizzy over there as well. And they told me that they were getting a shipment tonight of Gatorade Zero, but your boy didn't want to wait, so he's going to be hopped up on sugar tonight, getting some regular Gatorade, but it's the 12-ounce bottles, not 20-ounce.
That looks, I'm about to say it's small.
I just got big hands. No. That would be.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something, I don't think so. But no, like, I just look at the Lakers. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place here. You know what I keep talking about? You know what I keep referencing when it comes to the Lakers next offseason? The biggest storyline of this offseason that no one's talking about is the fact that Nikola Jokic has yet to sign a contract extension with the Denver Nuggets. And I know the relationship that Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic have. So I wonder, like, is that something that we do? But here's the thing, though. To your point, do you have the cap space to do that? Or is Austin Reaves a part of a deal that gets you Nikola Jokic a year from now? Because I do think that's very much a thing. He's got to sign an extension at some point this summer, or that's going to get loud.
And we know who Austin Reaves is at this point. Even though he's only been in the league 4 years, he's 28, not 24.
Correct.
So what he's been is probably what you should expect moving forward. And we'll see. You're right about Rob Pelinka. And it is head-scratching because it is a new power structure that is there in Los Angeles, yet he still has a lot of power to do things such as this.
Has Spotrac been, like, taken off the face of the earth?
Who?
Spotrac, the contract
site.
Did I hear one of you say you were having trouble pulling it up? I'm trying to pull up Spotrac on this laptop.
Are you a Spotrac guy? By the way,
Denton
Day is the producer of this program. Being rude, should introduce him. Also introduce Mike, who's taking your calls at 310-840-4910. Spotrac, D-Day, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I was trying to look at a Kawhi contract like an hour ago, and it just was not helping me out at all.
I love
How
that
about
okay.
we get to some big NBA notes for today? Some round two. Let's keep it with the draft real quickly. We didn't talk about what's happened in the draft tonight. Beef stew, Isaiah Stewart traded from the Pistons to the Memphis Grizzlies because that's who you want putting an arm around Cam Boozer and telling him the right way to go about it. Hey, listen here, man. Maybe rather than getting your orbital bone broken, you could start breaking some orbital bones. How about that?
Yeah, I actually I like the fit. I do. Just he feels like Memphis. He's got the grit and grind.
Grind City's
like
back.
All of that. Yeah, Grind City's back with him, right? The Grizzlies are more interesting from the standpoint of what happens with Ja Morant. I think Cam Boozer's got a good chance as anybody that was drafted in round one to win Rookie of the Year because I think the shot attempts will be there. I do. If you look at what he did last year at, 14 shots per game, shooting a little over 50%, with this team, I would assume that shot diet increases a little bit. And you're shooting closer to 20 shots per night, and I think I'm intrigued to see what he does with that type of offensive runway.
The 3 NBA Rookie of the Year odds, and we'll get to this in Graham's Gambling later because I got some bets on that already.
There we go.
That I'm thinking about. I'm looking at Caleb Wilson. I'm thinking of Cam Boozer. Or not Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson. And I'm thinking of Darius Acuff. Those are the 3 that.
Yeah, I like Acuff. I think last night I mentioned Acuff. I mentioned Acuff, who I literally just blanked on who we were just talking about 30 seconds or 10 seconds ago.
Cam Boozer?
Boozer, Acuff, and Okori.
Ooh, Abuka Okori.
I think, can I tell you why about Okori real quick? I think he's going to have the opportunity. The ball will be in his hands. What was the biggest issue that Detroit had? They didn't have another offensive initiator. I think he is that.
The big faller of the night was North Carolina 7-footer Henry Vesar. He was seen as a late first-rounder. Instead, he goes 52nd overall to Atlanta. Some are saying, he made a poor decision not going back to North Carolina. Listen, his coach got fired. He was ready to be a pro. He didn't want to play for a third different school in 3 years. Understood why he went pro. A fun fact about Henry Vesar, his fiance is the daughter of the Houston Astros third base coach. So, big getting into baseball, Henry Vesar. And I think he's from Estonia. So his family that watches in the middle of the night quite a bit. Anything else stand out to you from round 2 of the NBA draft?
So what I will say about round 2, for certain teams over the past couple of years, feels like every year there's a guy from round 2 that comes in and is able to make an impact. You've been talking about Braden Smith. I think that's fascinating to see where.
What a great story that is.
An
Indiana kid, undersized, goes to Purdue, breaks the assist record in college, and then is playing for the Indiana Pacers. That is Hoosiers-like stuff, to use another Indiana movie example. That's what that is. And I think that's a guy that can play minutes. Just type of guy you want to have in your building, type of guy to take in the second round. The other one that I'd circle is Dylan Mitchell from St. John's, who was really good in the tournament, and he goes to the Boston Celtics. Just somebody, they tend to do a really good job, Boston, with late first-rounders, second-round guys. Obviously, Peyton Pritchard was a great success story. Who was the guy out of Virginia that turned out to be pretty good once he left Boston? Ty Jerome they had in their building, and then he goes on to be a Cleveland Cavalier.
Brogdon?
No. Ty Jerome. Think
Okay.
that's the example. And Malcolm Brogdon. Oh, love that dude at Virginia, too, back in the day. Now you're firing me up.
I like
Virginia basketball.
I selfishly like the Wizards getting Okpara, getting them some real size in their
Rocky
front court
Top.
as like a backup guy. I also the Raptors have a culture that they're establishing. We have that annoying ass dude that's in the chat that always is like super stupid. That constantly talks about the Raptors, and his Raptors do have a little bit of a culture. They drafted a guy that I think fits it really well. They ended up with Jaden Bradley. I think Jaden Bradley, you want to talk about point of attack defender, guy that can score. I think that's fascinating.
Let's go to Mr. Positive. First caller of the night. Let's make it a good one. 310-840-4910. Mr. Positive, what is your thought on the NBA draft?
Dynamic duo. Boom shakalaka. Hey, real quick, I cannot use that with the king of all media, Stephen A. Smith. He reprimanded me. But that's another story. Hey, it's being bandied about here in Detroit. Jaylen Brown is possibly butthurt with Boston. We're going to get rid of Jalen Duren and a couple of top draft picks, and don't be surprised if our GM is going to make a move for Jaylen Brown. You've heard it here first from Mr. Boom Shakalaka, Mr. Positive. Everybody go for your dreams. What say you, dynamic duo?
Lynnell?
Yeah, I just don't know if they have enough to entice Boston. I think Boston's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they made a stupid choice once again dangling Jaylen Brown for a star, and then you end up not getting the star. I thought it was a totally ridiculous decision on their behalf. Does Detroit have a package? Jalen Duren? That's the missing piece in Boston. I don't necessarily, and I take Brad Stevens as a smart cookie, right? I think they've made a lot of shrewd moves there, since he's gotten to the top of the front office. Them mortgaging their future, because that's essentially to me what this is, especially when you look at the Giannis deal. In the short term, yeah, you would have been the best team in the East if you would have landed him. But long term, you're breaking up your duo that I think has a chance to run the East for the next 7-8 years.
A dynamic duo, if you will. That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham. Coming up, why today might be the unofficial end of the NFL's most noteworthy offseason story. Keep it here on Westwood One Sports Night.
International soccer has taken over the U.S., and only DraftKings has you fully covered. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states. Sweat all the matches you love all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code Westwood. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code Westwood in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. For Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in prediction dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks, expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Prediction offer void in New York. Ends June the 28th. For more terms, visit dkng.co/audio.
The Washington Wizards made BYU's A.J. Debonza the #1 pick in the NBA draft. Will Debonza be the generational talent to bring a championship to the nation's capital for the first time in nearly 50 years? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
Lynnell Willingham's best or worst feature is that once he has an idea in his head, it's not going anywhere. Like the one time that D-Day compared Lynnell to the comedian, what was it, Jeff Ross, and you spit your water out in a way that should be an internet
why the hell
meme
would he say that to me? I mean,
all
it's
over
just
the
crazy.
place. You still bring that up even though it's been months later. And the other reoccurring bit is that despite the fact I wear which teams I root for very publicly, like I'm wearing a 2026 Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes hat. I'm heartbroken by what the Baltimore Orioles did earlier today. Those are my two teams. You are dead set convinced that I am like this secret Charlotte Hornet fan.
It's
even
not
though
a secret, though. I don't think it's a secret. That's the thing. I think you're very open about it.
The show behind the show, before we get to the NFL, is that there are LaMelo Ball rumors afoot, and Denton Day and Lynnell Willingham are constantly saying, "Yo, Josh's Charlotte Hornets. Oh man, they about to move LaMelo Ball. Minnesota, Toronto, Lynnell, you win."
What do you think, man? It's your Hornets. I'm like, if anyone has got
Good. I'm not a LaMelo Ball guy. I'm not a Hornet fan, but I am not a LaMelo Ball guy.
I don't think anyone
and
would
I don't
ever
think he
mistake
makes
you for
sense
one.
culture-wise on that team. I think they got a bunch of serious basketball people.
What about,
and I think
like-
he's not. Nah, I just don't think he's serious. I don't want him to be the best player. If you're trying to be good,
All right,
that
Nick
can't be your
Wright.
best player.
Why not? Why
I
not?
just explained it. Like, he's not
Because he's
serious.
not. But the basketball. Now, this was his first time around in the postseason. I didn't think he played particularly well.
He wasn't in the postseason because he's been in the play-in
play-in.
3 times, actually, and he's lost all 3 times. Like
That's fine.
That's kind of what you are if he's your best player. If he goes to a place where he doesn't have to be the best player, then it could be a very good fit. But in Charlotte, right now, he's the face of the franchise, and it's best for Charlotte if Brandon Miller and Con Knipple are the face of your team, not LaMelo Ball.
I don't know. I guess I agree with what you're saying. Do I see him as the best player on a championship team?
No.
Depends on what type of team you put around him. Is my thing. Like, I think for you, I think it's totally premature for you to have this super strong indictment on him at 24 years old, dog.
7 years in the league.
24. But he's 24, bro. He entered the league as a biscuit. A biscuit. I'm hungry. A puppy. He entered the league as a puppy. So, like, so to have this, I think you're very critical of him because it's part of your fandom. I totally get that. When you're a fan of a team, you're gonna be a little bit more biased towards your
But
guys.
is it possible to be a hardcore fan of the team and hate the best player? Denton Day, can you think of an example that you've been in that position?
where I've hated the best player on our team?
Yeah, like I wonder.
I don't know if Denton was a Chase
you guys
Young
have been
hater,
in-
but Chase Young at one point was the best player on our team, and the whole DMV hated him.
Oh, okay. Well, question asked,
So
question answered. There is an NFL story. We'll use that as a segue to the NFL. The headline from the New York Times: Diana Rossini was an NFL insider. Was she also out of bounds? In reading this story, oddly, the story itself seemed out of bounds. Seemed largely unnecessary. And the takeaway from the story is the wells dried up because most of it was rehash. The resources of the big bad New York Times was spent clearly for weeks, maybe months, 2 writers on the story, and all they could drudge up is we listened to Stu Gotz's podcast when Diana Rossini was on a few times, and there wasn't much else new that we learned, which tells us that we probably got everything here and that the reaction has met its peak point and that people are going to move the hell on.
they tried to slam her in that article by rehashing these things. This was
Hit piece.
the New York Times, which is her former employer, by the way. That's the added context to this that I think is fascinating.
Whoa, hold 1 second. Hold 1 second, player. You are 100% right, and you are pressing your finger on the pulse of why this story exists, why they're doing it. Oh, it's unnecessary. What's the purpose of it? This is the New York Times trying to make it clear, oh, the Athletic is just an off branch of the New York Times. The purpose of this story is it's performative. It's the New York Times trying to separate its brand from Rossini's and, frankly, the Athletic. Because at many points of the story, they made sure to point out, oh, she wasn't permitted to go on Stugatz's podcast.
Right,
And,
which
these
is so
are not
funny.
the ethics of the New York Times.
But you
that
bring that
we
up,
feel
that's
this
petty,
way
though.
via our sources. And
How
it's
many-
weird.
how many
They're
guys-
citing like anonymous sources. You're talking about your company.
Josh, how many times have you had a guest on your show and they didn't go through their official publication to get on?
Ever.
Like
I mean,
it
every
happens.
single one.
It happens a lot.
Every
So
single
like
one.
for them to act like
This
in the
is
article,
sports.
like exactly for them to in that article act like that's some massive thing, it set the tone for it. It perfectly underscored what the tone of this was, and I think we agree on that. That this is supposed to be a Diana Rossini hit piece, but here's where I want to look at it from
An athletic hit piece.
An athletic
That's what
hit
it
piece
is.
is what- yeah.
This is the New York Times saying,
'Cause they even-
we had our own sports desk that they got rid of and then brought in the Athletic, and then look what happened when they hired their insider. And this is the New York
dude.
Times staff clearly saying, they're not in our club. Don't associate them with us.
My thing, though, that's kind of frustrated me with this whole story, and I have been pretty adamant about this the entire time, and certain shows I've gotten pushed back, others you all haven't, bothered, and I guess it wasn't worth your time. This idea that, like, there's this strict code of ethics with sports journalism is total BS. It is. 110%. It is a dog-eat-dog world. You do what you can to receive the information. That's it. I don't believe in ethics in sports journalism. This isn't the White House. We're not talking about a White House correspondent where, facts and integrity is super duper important here. This is the NFL, which lacks integrity as a whole, as an entity. They don't have any integrity as a sports league, period. What are we talking about here? You disagree?
disagree.
You think the NFL's got a bunch of
disagree.
integrity, slapping end racism in the back of the end zone while Colin Kaepernick gets shunned for taking a knee, but they have integrity?
That there
This
should
league
be
is
a line.
joke,
There
100%.
should be some lines when it comes to what you describe as journalistic ethics. I would say that it's hard to, for the same reasons, it would be fair to question the integrity of a sporting event to allow somebody to bet on sports within that league and continue doing so. That is an ethical
That's a different
standard.
sort of integrity.
If you
That's a
are
different sort of integrity.
sleeping with the coach that you're supposed to be covering, that
Dude,
might impact
the New
how
England
you
Patriots
report
special
one of
teams
the 32
coach
teams
just
on your beat.
proposed to the lead analyst from NBC Sports Boston. What's the difference?
I
she's
wouldn't
not an
approve of that
insider?
either. Yeah, I wouldn't approve of that much either. I
That's
would
silly.
not
It's
hope that-
stupid. And why does it matter? Is my point. What does it?
I just
impact?
told you. It would probably impact the way she reports on the New England Patriots.
No, I think
have
it's
her-
impacting. What people are pissed at is she's breaking stories. See, do you see what's happening with the Insider Game? Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, they're all on the same team now. They're all under one umbrella, so they're joint reporting on stories. You're seeing me and Ian Rappaport broke. So this is what they're doing. ESPN's Disney's got their group, and then there's Mr. Starbucks, Jordan Schultz, who they all hate because he was about to whoop Rap Sheet's ass at the damn combine, right? Like, it's a game being played. They don't like it because she's not a part of their clique. She's not. She's her own dominant force as an independent insider. Not an independent insider, but as an insider for the New York Times. She breaks news at the same rate that Adam Schefter and these other Bamas do. And they don't like that. That's why they're mad at how she's got to the top.
That
And
might
I
be
say
true,
tough
but you
titty.
also can't sleep with the coach you cover. Can't do it.
Dude, I go back to what I say about what Peter Schrager. Peter Schrager's not considered an insider, though, but Like, dog, he gets scoops and information because he's hanging out boozing with coaches on the island of Punta Cana. What's the difference between that and Rossini banging? I don't think it's any difference.
There are
what
moral
the problem is that they're married. That's the thing. That they're married.
That's a huge.
Who gives a damn? Who cares?
I do.
Look at our president. Look at our president. Does it matter in the public office? Who cares?
It matters sometimes. It doesn't matter sometimes. Yeah,
I think it's silly, man. The whole
a lot of people don't like the person you just cited for that reason, and I wouldn't judge them for that. Wouldn't judge them for that whatsoever. I get it. Like when you're married, you kind of understand it, and you might not like it, but the other thing is that insiders are largely very replaceable, and her career's probably finished because they'll find somebody else.
Guy, what the hell are you talking about? Who brought up racism, pal? Haven't brought up racism once in this situation. The bottom line is she is being unfairly treated. They're clicking up in the insider game. Do you pick up what I'm putting down with that? When I talk about the insider game, do you not see what I'm saying? This is a competitive sport. Breaking news. All of the top insiders are on one team. This is being made a big deal because Diana is like almost an independent entity. She's as big of a newsbreaker as Shefty and Rappaport are. I don't know. I don't know.
This segment sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com. At the completion of each draft, it's a contractual requirement almost to do winners and losers. And believe it or not, Lynnell and I might have the same winner next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham. And full disclosure, we were trying to figure out the best way to break down the NBA draft now that it's officially in the books. And where our brain first went to is, let's do winners and losers. And then we thought, let's pinky up this deal. We're better than that. Let's try to recreate the wheel. Let's try to do that. And then the further we got, we just decided, we got winners we like. We got losers we like. Sometimes you just want a Big Mac. Is it the most thoughtful thing that you can order, even on the fast food market? Maybe not. But sometimes you just want that number one, Lynnell, and you don't want to think about it. Sometimes you just want to go to a movie and it's Sandler. Let's just throw it on. And it doesn't matter if there's anything thoughtful in it whatsoever. Just want to throw on Blended, and that's okay.
Full disclosure, tonight I had the most ridiculous dinner. It's been an interesting day for me. I'm dealing with a small personal challenge that I will overcome, and that's just part of life. Everyone goes through it. But as a result of that, I, for dinner, had a 5-piece chicken wing with fried rice, a steak and cheese combo. Now, the steak and cheese I'm not going to eat probably until about 4 o'clock in the morning after I am done with the show here tonight. But, I did that because, damn it, sometimes you just do what you want to do. And what we want to do is give you winners and losers. Can I start with the first winner? Can I do that?
Well, hold one sec. I'm starting to think, because I was up till about 1 Eastern listening to you yesterday, starting to think that we have the same winner as the big winner of the NBA draft. Think that's possible. Where is your big winner?
My big winner, chicken dinner. When it comes to the 2026 NBA draft, ring a ding 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 ding. You win. My big
give us your winners. Give us your winners. 310-840-4910. Winners and losers. 310-840-4910. Let's fully embrace the bit. Winners and losers.
winner is the Milwaukee Bucks.
310-840-4910.
Milwaukee.
Okay.
I look at Milwaukee, and I know you were on their tail as well. When you have a star that's disgruntled, that forces his way out of town, you normally don't end up with a team that's arguably better than the one that he was on initially anyway. And this is where we disagree, I know. I look at the Milwaukee Bucks, and remember, this is what's beautiful about this. Our pals at the DraftKings Sportsbook, they haven't dropped the odds yet for the NBA title next year, post-draft. But 7 through 10, frisky play-in team, I don't think they're below that. I don't think that's a pipe dream. I don't. You asked me a question
Who's their best
earlier.
player?
I'm glad
their
you
best
asked.
player?
So when you asked me earlier, I went, Tyler Hero. But like when it comes, I know that's not anything that's inspiring. I totally
How did that
understand
go in Miami? And he wasn't even the best player there.
So here's what I would say. I think the sum of the parts, Josh. It's not just about Tyler Hero.
No.
It's the sum of the parts. And then look.
No. But these guys all played for Miami.
Khalil Ware did not play with Miles Turner. He played with Bam Adebayo. So I guess that, yeah.
What are you doing?
They're better than what the Heat were, though.
You don't have to do this, Liddell.
Braden
You don't have
Burries,
to.
Nate Ament, Kyle Kuzma, Ryan Rollins, Kevin Porter.
Okay. Here's why we can agree. Let's find some common ground rather than try to fester more division across our divided nation. Let's look at places that we have common ground. The Milwaukee Bucks are winners this week and in this draft because they made the best possible deal for Giannis. Yes, the team was wise to pursue this path rather than acquiring Jaylen Brown, because what happens if Jaylen Brown decides to opt out next year or threatens to do so? Then you're in the same position you're in now. Plus, Bucks owner Jimmy Haslam is also the owner of the Cleveland Browns. He's sick of this because he just had to deal Myles Garrett in Cleveland. And the next two drafts pale in comparison, talent-wise, to this year's draft. So getting pick 13, plus a ton of young, movable assets from Miami, that was better than the Boston option. Also, it was fitting that the forward outside the top four with the highest ceiling fell to Milwaukee. Perfect place for Nate Ament from Tennessee to end up, who, by the way, Jimmy Haslam's alma mater is Rocky Top. So, hey, you're replacing Milwaukee.
I did not know that. Okay.
The Miami pick that they sent you, and Nate Ament's available to go along with Braden Burries. That brings us to the second biggest headline of the week. That was Michigan head coach Dusty May leaving for the Dallas Mavericks job. That meant there was a stronger sense that Dallas might pick a Wolverine at number 9 rather than picking the best player there in Braden Burries. The Mavs did just that by taking Moretz Johnson. So Arizona's Braden Burries falls to Milwaukee at 10. Outside of the top 4, he might be the most pro-ready teenager in this draft. So you get Braden Burries, you get Nate Ament. By the way, this is the part we disagree. They're going to be bad in the near term. The Bucks, they're going to be well set up for the future because you hired Taylor Jenkins. That is going to be, he gave Memphis an identity. He should do the same thing for the Milwaukee Bucks as well. And those my unprotected Miami picks early next decade, by that time, Giannis is going to be what age? And the Heat have mortgaged all their picks and their future there, could be very valuable for Milwaukee. So I think they came out well with a bad situation with Giannis and made a good deal, made the right deal, got a really good player at 13 with the pick they got from Miami, and think they benefited from the Dusty May hire as well, Braden Burries being there at 10.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think the part that's most enticing to me is Nate Ament. Because I think in 2 years, he can be the best player on this team. 6'10", 220, can get it off the rim and push, shot creator. I think under Taylor Jenkins and in that defensive scheme and system, like he can be a plus defender with that length and size that he has, man. Like I'm a huge fan of his, a huge, huge fan of his.
While we go to the phones, Johnny in Atlanta, winners and losers from the NBA draft, 310-840-4910, recreating the format that is Sports Talk by taking phone calls and asking for your winners and losers right after a draft. 310-840-4910. I do want Lynnell to pull up the current Eastern Conference standings and to tell me how many teams he believes the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be better than in the Eastern Conference, or how many teams he thinks are better than the Milwaukee Bucks are. I would love to know what that answer is as we hear from Johnny in Atlanta. Johnny, 310-840-4910. Winners, losers, go.
Hey, Lynnell, you can tell Graham don't watch basketball because the Bucks won the draft. I told
I
you
just said
yesterday
they won the draft. I just said that.
Yeah, I thought you laughed at him.
No, I laughed at the idea that the Bucks are going to be good next year. I think they won the trade and won the draft.
Hey, they will be better than the Miami Heat. Tell me, believe that, because they have no chance. They will be better because basically.
This is your ally, Lynnell.
Hey, he went to the same position that he did last year. Another big who cannot shoot and cannot score. Because Bam
he put 83 on the Wizards.
Hey, the Bam cannot score. And my take, I called in about the Hornets. You might be right. LaMelo might be out there because they did draft Christian Anderson Jr. out of Texas Tech, a guard who can shoot a hell of the ball. So hey, he might be out. And then another one I called in about the Knicks draft pick in the second round, that Bruce Thornton pick. Oh man, that's awesome. State. A 4-year start out of Ohio State. Hey, I'll put it like this: the loser of the draft, I got to give it to Utah because Darren Peterson is not the guy. I don't care what nobody say.
Oh my goodness!
The loser is Utah.
How are they losers?
Because Darren Peterson is not that guy.
Who are they supposed to take?
Hey, you know who he reminds me of? Well, the number one pick for the Cavs that year, who was one and done. Y'all hyped him up like he was
Anthony Bennett.
Next thing, yeah, Anthony Bennett. They hyped him up like he's the best thing smoking.
But Darren Peterson and Anthony Bennett. Come on, dog. Now I'll say this: Anthony Bennett at UNLV was a badass.
Thank you for the call, Johnny. It's good to hear from you. Okay, so that's your ally, Lynnell. You and him are aligned.
No.
Milwaukee Bucks are going to be better than the Miami Heat next year.
I don't believe that they're going to be better than the Heat. Like, that's crazy. But I did take heed to what you said.
I don't watch ball either.
And Johnny said it.
He said
the standings, right? The Bucks team is currently constructed. I think it's better than Brooklyn. I think it's better than Chicago. I think.
See? You're not cracking the top 10.
I think they're better than Charlotte.
They're better than Charlotte without LaMelo Ball.
Even with LaMelo, I think they're better than Charlotte.
Oh, my God.
How
can you accuse of me being a LaMelo hater? No. And you said with LaMelo Ball, a team that has Tyler Hero as its best player is better than them.
You don't think the front court of Khalil Ware and Miles Turner won't eat their lunch?
Moussa Diabate. You put some respect on the ears.
That's it, though. Their
Ryan
front court's
They
buns.
just drafted Hannes Steinbach or whatever.
Not quick enough. Can't move.
Okay. So you said they're better than
the
Charlotte.
Hornets.
We haven't cracked the top 10 yet. So
I can't believe
they're
I
better
said
than
that
the
about.
Nets. They're better than the Wizards. That's a good one.
No, they're not better than. Stop it. Not better than the Wizards. They're better than the Raptors.
I'm having too much fun.
They're better than the Raptors. They're better than the Raptors. Let me chill. But no.
Okay. So they're 11th. So they're 11th.
They're going to be in that play. I said 7 through 10. I could see them finishing.
So we're at 11.
We're at 11. So I got to choose one more team to put them over. Indiana.
Because they're better than Indiana?
They're better than
You
Indiana.
don't believe that.
No.
You don't believe that.
No, I don't. I know. Indiana's going to be a frisky team next year. Toronto, I said.
And that's putting them over the Charlotte Hornets and Toronto.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That. No, it's not.
The Raptors won 46 games last year, and the Bucks, without Giannis, did not look very good, obviously. And this team without Giannis is now going to win 45, 46 games.
You just got to hope Tyler Hero is able to stay healthy. That's all.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all.
Need Tyler Hero.
But, dog, for you to say that this team...
Did you want to also stand behind
Why don't you like this team? What about this team? What about the team that you don't like?
I think I outlined
Ryan
it pretty
Rollins.
clear. Like, Tyler Hero wasn't the best player on his last team.
But this team
and that
is
team
way
was a lot
more-
better.
No, this
That-
team is more well-rounded to me. I'm putting a lot of stock in Nate Amen and Braden Berry.
You really are. They are freshmen. Had to
But I think
remind
they're-
a
but I
mutual
think
friend of
they're-
ours, the Prince of North Kakalaki, Will Dalton, this when it came to Cooper Flagg. He's like, "Whoa, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, they're gonna be a team right away." It takes time and a lot of new parts, and that just doesn't work right away. It just
I
doesn't.
think they're dudes
like this
that can come in
entire
and have-
starting five is different.
I think they're dudes that can come in and have impact right away, though, because of their play style and their skill that they already got. Both Braden Burries and Nate Amen already got a little bit of size on them. Good NBA-ready bodies to me. In terms
Can we
of
place
that.
a bet right now if they have a winning record?
A winning record?
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
too far?
No.
You think they're going to finish with a winning record?
I do.
I'll even
I
give
think-
you 500. 41 and 41, you win.
I
Go
think
push.
Taylor Jenkins is going to put on a coaching clinic.
All right, D-Day, what's the bet? Got to figure out what it is. Well, actually, you still have another bet to
Oh,
pay
my
off that you
God.
still haven't.
That's why as
We
soon
can't
as
do
you
another
brought
bet
up the fact
until-
that we were, now I'm ready.
Oh, by the way, D-Day, we need to go back and see, did any of us have Miami as we did a where's Giannis going to be playing basketball bet
I think I
way
may have
back
had
in
Miami.
January. No, we need to go back and check.
I think I had
We need to
Miami.
go back and check that. Figure this out. I don't
And
remember.
I think you said he
frankly
wasn't
just
getting
don't.
traded.
No. We both picked 3-team drafts saying where he was going to end up. And I don't know if either of us had the Miami Heat. So it might push. We'll have to go back and revisit the tape. Got to go check the tape.
Let's go check
And get to the
tape.
bottom of that. Figure out what that bet was because I don't even remember what the bet was. So since we're talking about winners in this draft, by the way, tell us your winners and losers. 310-840-4910. That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham. How about we talk about the losers? And we'll do that next on Westwood One Sports Night.
International soccer fans. International soccer is taking over the U.S., and only DraftKings has you fully covered. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states. Sweat all the matches you love, all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code Westwood, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code Westwood in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Bet with TK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET for New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. For Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in prediction dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks. Expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Prediction offer void in New York ends June the 28th. For more terms, visit dkng.co/audio.
The U.S. men's national team is cruising. They've clinched first place in Group D. Can they finish group play 3-0? U.S. versus Turkey. Tomorrow night, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
We are making history on this format. That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham. Nobody's ever thought of, after a draft ends, immediately giving their winners and losers.
History,
Next
Josh
up, we
Graham.
might give letter grades, grading the draft. We might do that as well because we have all the best and newest ideas. And another concept that we've thought of that's never been thought of before in the history of sports talk, taking phone calls.
Yes.
310-840-4910. Winners and losers from the NBA draft. We were both aligned on the Milwaukee Bucks being winners. Lynnell, who is the biggest loser? Loser! From
So
the
when you
NBA
talk about the
draft.
biggest loser, like,
Great
when
show.
you talk about the biggest loser, like, it's got to be an egregious selection, I feel like. And it just has to make no sense at all. And honestly, in the first round, there aren't a whole lot of those. I just here's what I'll say. One couple picks that I didn't like. Don't like Zubi Ejiofor going 23 to Atlanta. I don't believe he was worth the first round pick. And then Alex Caravan going 29 overall to the Cavs. Why was he drafted? I don't know how you watch him during his, 5 years at UConn and think that he is going to be a good pro. He can't move his puppies laterally.
Champion.
Oh, he's a winner. At my ass. Come on, man. Like, winner at the collegiate level, but not going to be a winner.
The Braylon Mullins?
So good,
Pretty
right?
cool.
So good. I just worry about and question his athleticism at the next level and what position is it? Was he a 3 at 6'8", or is he a small ball 4 at 6'8"? Like, who can he guard any power forwards in the NBA, especially if you go small? Can he be a small ball 5? But remember what Booz did to him every time he got him in the post? It was cookies. Cookies probably the wrong word. It was a bucket, So total head-scratching move. I thought he was going to be like a car insurance salesman. Like, that's what I saw for him post-UConn. I did not think he was a pro basketball player, even at, overseas.
That is quite a case that you've made for the loser of the draft. That being the Cleveland Cavaliers for selecting Alex Caravan. It's the wrong answer, though.
Uh-oh.
Because here's the correct answer.
I feel like you're about to knock
The
this off.
loser, unfortunately, the loser of the NBA draft, unquestionably, Duke star Isaiah Evans. After thinking he'd be selected near the lottery, Evans wasn't taken until round 2 earlier tonight, 33rd overall to the Brooklyn Nets. The average second rounder in the NBA makes around the league minimum between $1.2 to $1.5 million per year. If he would have returned to college basketball, he would have made a minimum of 3.5, probably closer to $5 million. So pretty much the entire value of his rookie deal in just one more year of playing college basketball. And to make matters worse, Lynnell, did you see his draft night suit? Did you see his fit?
Yes, I did. And this is where I was on board with you until you started pocket watching. I don't care how much money he spent on his suit. I don't care how much money he spent on the accessories for his suit. This is the most important, the most special night of his young life. If you have him, brother, then pop
That's fine. That's fine. Just from an optics standpoint, his accessories, don't know what his suit cost, which probably wasn't cheap. He had on a $3 million all-gold brooch to go along with a $1 million wallet chain. The outfit cost more than what his rookie contract is going to be worth. And that isn't great. And you might be thinking, well, Josh, why single out Isaiah Evans and not, say, Henry Vesar from North Carolina, for example, that people thought was going to be a first-round pick? Well, what's different is Henry Vesar played for a team that lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament, whose coach was fired, so he'd be playing for a different coach. This is a problem for Isaiah Evans because he could have easily made the money and just played in college basketball. He's now going to be grinding in the G League, grinding it out, where nobody's going to be following your games, where the travel and amenities are not luxurious. If he just decided to go back to Duke, he could have played for perhaps the best team in the country, made a lot more money, and he likely would be a first-round pick next year because don't forget the draft, a lot lighter next year and the year after that. So it's fumbling the bag in epic proportions, Isaiah Evans. I have no joy in pointing this out because love dealing with Slim. He's a Charlotte kid, Mecklenburg County kid. Wanted the best for him. Just think he made a really bad mistake, and the people around him had him make a bad decision too.
Do you think there was more to, not trying to speculate on his character,
Please.
but why wasn't he drafted at all? His skill set.
33rd.
Am I tripping?
He went to the Nets. 33rd overall. Isaiah Evans.
My mistake then. So I don't know. I think his skill set translates to the NBA, and the fact that he's on the Nets, I don't think he's going to be in the G League. I think he walks on that team as one of their better defenders right off the rip and provides them something they don't have in terms of, like, slashing and his length. I like Isaiah Evans. I think he's a good basketball player.
I like him too. Great three-point shooter too. I just wish that, again, he could have played for the best team in America, playing twice a week, flying private, making the entire cost of his rookie contract next year at Duke. And he could have probably been drafted higher a year from now than where he was this year.
So Dalton in the chat just said something about and this is Denton brought this up earlier too in reference to you pocket watching. We don't know, and it's you pocket watching, it's others pocket watching because you got it from somebody else. But
did I claim that he bought it? I'm saying it's an optics thing that makes it, hey, you're wearing a $3 million gold brooch and have a $1 million wallet chain, and you're going to be making 1.2 per year in the G League, maybe.
But I feel like you're saying that to go, that's financially irresponsible. You should have stayed in
school. No. I'm saying it's an optic look for how much money you just left on the table at Duke. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's reckless with his cash. This is not a character indictment at all. I just think you have people that surround you that lead you to make decisions, and I think whoever told him to make that decision it was a bad decision. Bad decision, and I think it happens. I think kids are told things, hey, you're going to be taken close to the lottery.
What type of NIL, like, have you heard any rumors of what type of money he would have gotten?
Told you. It'll minimum 3.5 mil, probably going to be closer to 5 million than 3.5. That's probably what you're looking at.
That. I don't think
No, I'm saying 100%. 100%. Like, look at what the kid who went out of the portal from Baylor to go to St. John's the night of the deadline, I think just got 6. That was the report. He got 6. And then the minimum that the really good bigs are getting, Flory Badunga, $5 million. Like, guys are making real coin. And Duke, you don't think Duke's shelling it out? How else are they getting the best portal transfer in John Blackwell among guards and the best class in high school every year?
Maybe he's tired of going to class.
It's possible.
Like
that's possible.
Like,
but you know what's not going to be fun?
Anymore, living the lifestyle. Maybe
riding buses in the G League. That's not going to be fun. That's not fun lifestyle.
That or going to class. I'd rather be riding the G League bus. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Getting a degree from a place like Duke sounds like an awful decision to make. Sounds like an awful place to be.
You could go back and get that. The opportunity to get it is going to be there for life. So
you could have done that and made 3.5 to do that. Like, get paid to do that. That's, again, just think it's a bad decision. It's fine. I just think it's one of the big losers of the draft. 310-840-4910. Let's go to Tyrus. He is in Canada. Tyrus, winners, losers. What do you got?
What's up, Tyrus?
Hi. How are you gentlemen doing this evening?
Doing good, bro. Doing good.
How you guys think the Bucks are going to be doing better than the Raptors next year after the trade?
Yeah, I just think
that's Lynnell. That's not me. I didn't say that.
I didn't think the Raptors were that good anyway last year. But I know a lot of people are gonna, push back on that. I do like their draft pick of Jaden Bradley. I think he fits what they're trying to do, and he's a culture guy for them. Look, I maybe have been reaching. Maybe it was a little bit of a stretch to say that the Bucks are going to be better than the 5-seed Raptors
and be in the play.
But no, it has more to do about my lack of belief in the Raptors. Like, they're not good. They're not.
Wow. See, I like
That's
Alan
what
Graves
they had
too. I thought they made a really good
with
pick last
48
night.
wins.
48 wins. Come on, Lynnell. 48. And they're gonna add LaMelo Ball maybe. That might happen. That'll hype your boy. He made a fart noise with his mouth. That was his reaction to that. That's what he's got to say to that. And that's what he's got to say to your Raptors, Tyrus.
Jamal Shedd played with big kahunas in the postseason.
Was a dog at Houston. I'm about it. Tyrus, I'm with you. And I'm with the Raptors.
Thank you.
I'm with you on this,
Thank
okay?
you.
I'm asleep at the wheel when it comes to the
Thanks,
basketball team north of the border. I am. I'm a Bucks fan.
A lot of guys from the Carolinas. R.J. Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes played in the ACC.
Remember R.J. Barrett hit the buzzer beater?
He isn't. That happened. It's a real thing that happened.
They're not that good. They're not that good. I don't think Scotty Barnes is that
appreciate
good.
it.
Like, Scotty Barnes being the best player on the championship team, not doubt it.
Guy was an all-star.
I don't care. Can't shoot.
All right.
I mean,
Mauricio
what stars in this
Pochettino.
league can't shoot? What elite? He ain't Giannis. He don't have that type of gravity. You gotta be able to shoot unless you're Giannis. And even he's working on his jumper. Him and Thanasis. Did they actually sign Thanasis?
Mauricio Pochettino just provided an update on the availability of the 4 yellow cards and Christian Pulisic. You'll hear from the U.S. manager, and we'll react next on Westwood One Sports Night.
South Beach is going Greek.
Yeah!
The Miami Heat have won the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes, acquiring the 2-time MVP in a blockbuster deal that includes Tyler Hero. Can Giannis restore Heat culture and put Miami back in the title picture? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
The guys that have yellow card, I think it's necessary to take a risk and then to take another yellow card and be not available for the next stage.
Well put. USA manager Mauricio Pochettino saying it would be unnecessary to play the players with yellow cards attached to them in a game in which it's largely meaningless. They've already clinched Group D facing Turkey. No, I'm not going to call it Turkey A. Oh, that's the preferred pronunciation now. Sorry, my entire life you've been Turkey. It's Turkey. Just like someone said, actually, the name of the hotel is the Marriott, not the Marriott. Sorry, I'm not changing now. Been doing this too long. That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham. He said the 4 yellow card players would not start, likely would not play against Turkey. As for Christian Pulisic, who missed last week's match, Pulisic said he would be available. Pochettino pretty much confirmed if he plays at all, it would be coming off the bench as a reserve in the second half. Is this the right approach? Lynnell?
Yeah. Like, the logic behind it makes a bunch of sense. The game is meaningless, essentially. So that's what you do. We see it in other sports. We see it in the NFL. When you got a postseason spot clinched up, you don't play your starters in Week 18.
Do you believe in the idea of Big Mo, momentum, and also, secondarily, Pulisic hasn't played in a couple of weeks, getting him out there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just to get his feet wet so he hits the ground running for the knockout stages?
I think they probably will play him in the second half. As far as the momentum goes, that's a fascinating part of it. My bigger picture thought with all of this is like, they, to me, need a statement win for the narrative around them to change. I think we're on a high here in the States because they're 2-0, because this is the best brand of soccer really they've played since the 80s, right? Like,
best start they've ever gotten off to in the World Cup ever.
So we're all geeked up as a country, rightfully so. But what you continue to hear when watching the studio desk shows and hearing people talk about the presumptive favorites the rest of the way here, the United States is still widely considered by many to be a underdog. And the one thing that I really think is a slight is folks referencing the 2 opponents that they've beat to this point and saying that they are way subpar and they haven't played anybody yet. So this excitement we have is all for nothing.
I don't agree with that because Paraguay played 12 qualifying matches.
Their defense was like
to
that,
qualify for the. And here's the thing: in the 12 qualifying matches, they allowed a combined 7 goals. And you might say, well, they played scrubs. They played Brazil. Yeah. They played Argentina. They played Uruguay. So they played actually real squads. And you could say they're not great, don't present a lot of a threat offensively. Defensively, they don't allow a ton of goals. And the United States scored 3 in the first half. And then without Christian Pulisic, Australia, which was not scored on by Turkey, dang it, I just did it when I said I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I ask a question real quick? Is it Turkey?
Well, hold on a sec.
A-Y-E?
It's that is how it's spelled. but they now say the pronunciation is Turkey. So anywho, no Christian Pulisic, and it's 2-0 at halftime, and they're able to park the bus in the second half. That is very impressive and should not be diminished. 10 o'clock Eastern kick from Los Angeles. We'll be reacting to it immediately after the match right here on Westwood One Sports Night. By the way, do us a favor. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Westwood One Sports Night. Like, subscribe, comment. That all helps with the algorithm. Join the community in the chat as well. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you search Westwood One Sports Night as well. Lynnell, here's another question that's been a hot topic this week. Interested genuinely in what your answer is. And we'll pose it to the audience. 310-840-4910. Is the United States a soccer nation? Would you characterize the United States as that?
So immediately, right when you say that, my mind goes to what defines a soccer nation? What does it mean to be a soccer nation?
How would you define it?
I think when you look at the United States and our sports culture relative to all of the other countries that we compete against internationally in the Olympics, I think our give a damn level for sports and its importance to our culture, our society, it's way more important here than it is over there in other places, is what I would say. So are we a soccer country? We're a sports country. So, yeah, we're a soccer country.
See,
soccer nation.
Yes. It's time to officially acknowledge that the United States is a soccer nation. Mike, D-Day, I think we have this sound. This is JP Della Camera, the longtime Fox World Cup announcer that was on the show in the past week. And this is something we talked about. We were talking about the differences between 1994, the last time the United States hosted the World Cup, and what it is now. And here, if you just don't take it from me that the United States is a soccer country, take it from JP. Here's what he had to say on Westwood One Sports Night.
Came along in 1996, so we knew in 1994 that there was going to be a pro league, but did anybody think that it could grow to 30 teams in a relatively short period of time, that MLS would have their own stadiums, that they would bring in a David Beckham, all the way to the point now where they've brought in a Lionel Messi, Zlatan in between, and so many other players. Like, that's the difference. Like, MLS became a standard bearer. We didn't have outdoor soccer, which you couldn't do back in 1994. So back in 1994, if you wanted to say the U.S. was not a soccer nation, I might even agreed with you at that time. But when I hear people say it now, it's a ridiculous statement to make. We are a soccer nation.
Here's the two big criteria, Lynnell, that qualify your nation as being seen as a Sport X nation. Is there enough talent and investment that makes you qualify, or that you could be seen as the best in your sport, that you can be the best in your particular sport? And secondly, is there an established culture for that sport that warrants respect internationally? Does soccer check those two boxes? Yes, they do. And just like with our other sports, soccer, it does these things. Talent and investment. Look at our stadiums. They're incredible versus international state. Talent, 18 U.S. players play in the top European clubs. 14 in the top 5 leagues specifically. And that doesn't even account for the dominance of the women's team.
But the best players in this country aren't American, though. I mean, the best players in the world, though, aren't American. They're not. I don't think anybody would say that.
There is an established, well, the best baseball player isn't from America either.
Right.
I don't think anybody would say.
When you talk about the criteria you're referring to, I don't think there's anybody that would say we have a shot to be the best team in the World Cup in the world in soccer.
I don't
think anybody gives us that credit.
No, but the credit. Are you making the investment? Are you doing what it takes to do that? And I think having those players play in the top clubs, and having the fact that that soccer is the most popular sport, U12 in this country, and has been for a long time. There is an established soccer culture, too.
Do you really think that there's an investment being made, though? I mean, they're playing at stadiums that weren't built for soccer. They're just multi-purpose.
Oh, no, there are some. There are some that have been built exclusively for soccer. Think about the New York Red Bulls play in their own stadium. There's a handful of others as well.
Don't they play at Yankee Stadium sometimes?
No, that's New York City FC that plays there.
That's New York City FC.
MLS is also just 30 years old. The world's best player is in this league, and our country is currently hosting the World Cup right now. So if that's not enough to say that there's respect for America's soccer prowess or America's soccer culture, don't know what else there is when the best player in the world plays in MLS and also the most kids play soccer.
I think to take it deeper than our soccer culture, I think our sports culture is just richer than every other country in terms of we care, we invest resources into it. But the other thing I would say, and just from a basketball standpoint, I think about the pro leagues and the investment that, you know, those countries put into those in terms of like having kids going pro at 14 and 15 years of age, like stuff like that. They care about it. But I think our, to use my magical phrase, our give a damn level is a lot higher than other countries when it comes to sports. Like sports is a fabric of our culture. It's a part of what makes the U.S., you know?
How obnoxious will the United States be?
Oh, my goodness.
If we win the World Cup. You can't let us have that.
What's the machine called, the instrument called? The What's the name of that thing?
Sounds like a Wookiee. A Wookiee. That's what it sounds like from Star Wars.
What is it? It's a proper name
D-Day?
for it.
D-Day?
And
Any idea what?
It's a Gonko or something? A Gonka? It's something nutty.
What?
Oh. You know what I'm talking? Denton knows what I'm talking about. It's a big yellow thing.
You talking about a vuvuzela?
A vuvuzela, yes.
Yeah. Like you're talking about the plastic horn. Yeah. The vuvuzela.
Yeah.
Right? Those things, yeah. So you're saying hit the vuvuzela if the United States wins it all because
and blow it and blow it until you can't blow it no more.
Kanye voice can't tell us nothing. Like we what are you gonna say? We're the best. And I agree with you. I think you can be. We are definitely a football nation, most popular sport there is. We are a basketball nation. We're still the best in the world, even though you have the cumulative world that has all these great players that have won the MVP. Is it James Harden, the last American MVP that we've had, like 2018? Even that can be true. Even that can be true.
Counts, right?
Yeah, Embiid's American. Yeah.
There we go. We got Joel Embiid.
But the other part of it is.
But hold one sec. I'd even say we're a hockey nation because we have all these NHL teams that have great followings. And by the way, we're the gold medal winner in both men's and women's hockey.
I think COVID showed me the importance of sports to the United States, especially the NBA and the National Football League. With the TV contracts that both of those two leagues have, the NFL and the NBA are like instrumental and vital to the functionability of the economy. That's why when COVID happened, who was the first people to go back? The NFL and the NBA in empty stadiums. Why? Because they had to play those games. The NBA and the NFL
before the NFL.
But pro sports and the television contracts that they have, it makes this economy go round. Which goes back to it like we have the richest sports culture in the world. We may not be the best at everything, right? Because I don't think we're anywhere near close to being the best at soccer. I don't think we're the best at – are we the best at hockey? I don't think we're the best at baseball.
We don't care about it as much as the Canadians, but men's and women's gold medals, puck don't lie.
That's true. But the overall point is, like, I think we just care about sports way more than every other country. One – and the number one reason why I think we do is because of the economy, bro. The economy is
English soccer fans are going to be in your mentions, man. Because
English soccer league can't hold can't hold the cake in terms of the contract and the TV money that the U.S. is bringing in. It's a part of our literal economy, pro sports.
The way I would describe to you the way people care about the EPL in England is the way that people care about the NFL and the NBA combined.
Caring is different. If the EPL went away, that country would function, wouldn't they? If the NFL and the NBA did not exist, our economy would be in ruins. It's
the
so
NBA?
instrumental. All four of the major pro sports leagues, just because of the amount of money that's tied up in it through the TV money, the ticket sales, the merchandise, The why am I blanking on the last thing that I was just saying, dude? TV merchandise sales. I'm blanking on something that was at the tip of my tongue. I'm feeling like a certain somebody at the moment.
Christian Anderson, by the way, was selected by the Charlotte Hornets, and I got a text message from Daht, who's going to be a guest with us a little bit later, most entertaining guest in sports talk. All I was hit with yesterday, and I didn't want any more information because I wanted to save it on air, is he said, I talked to Christian Anderson today and told him he was going to be a Charlotte Hornet. And that is what happened last night. Christian Anderson was selected by the Charlotte Hornets. So there's bound to be interesting story time. And grammar school is always a lot of fun as well when the most entertaining guest in sports talk, Daht, joins us. Austin Reaves just signed a massive contract with the Lakers. What does it mean for LeBron James? That's next on Westwood One Sports Night.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
Austin Reaves got that bag, Lynnell. The question now becomes, what does that mean for LeBron James? 310-840-4910 if you want in. We're revolutionizing sports talk. Winners and losers of the draft, taking phone calls at 310-840-4910, concepts that have never been thought of before, and also finding a way to make a story that doesn't directly involve LeBron James, all about LeBron James. 310-840-4910. How does this contract affect LeBron and what's next for him?
Listen, there's a report out there from Chris Mannix of SI that the Lakers are interested in Jared Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they would be willing to sign and trade LeBron to facilitate that and to make that happen.
I'm sure they would.
I'm sure they would. I don't know why Cleveland would be enticed to do that. That doesn't make them better, makes them worse, in my opinion. But I don't know. Like, part of me is like, well, Jared Allen at this point, 27, 28, LeBron 41. But when you think about what Cleveland...
1 year of LeBron versus 4 years of Jared Allen.
Do we know if it's 1 year of LeBron? But LeBron hasn't announced whether or not he's going to retire after this year or not. The idea of having LeBron at the 4, Evan Mobley at the 5, and him being playing second fiddle to Donovan Mitchell and having another ball handler in James Harden, I don't know. I could talk myself into the Cavs being
If you're
good,
management, you have to assume it's 1 year. You can't bank on having multiple years at this point. So have that as your baseline, so that way anything else is a bonus. So banking on it, you can't do that at this point.
The other piece is this. I think this move, to some people, signaled the end of LeBron in Los Angeles. The entire time, the Lakers have been pretty steadfast in saying, hey, like, we were pretty intrigued by the small 1 month, I believe it was, sample size of Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic being the 1 and 2, and then LeBron playing third fiddle. They picked up some pretty quality wins during that stretch, and you saw what that could potentially look like if they got better in between the margins. That's why I said it more than any other team in the NBA last year. It was most important for the Lakers to enter the postseason healthy so they can get a real gauge as to how good that trio is together. Because I get doing it in February, but when you're in the NBA second season and the defensive pressure ratchets up and postseason basketball as we know it is just a different game, we didn't see if this trio worked in the playoffs. Excuse me, but we do know that it for damn sure worked in the regular season.
Personally, it would be sad to see LeBron return to the Lakers because if he did so, it would be a move, it feels, prioritizing comfort. Staying in the city he calls home, not wanting to move again in his early 40s, understandable sentiments, getting to continue playing with his son, who might see more minutes next year and, won't judge that whatsoever. We all do it ourselves. We make decisions based on comfort, might not be about the things you want it to be. It would be more fun if we saw him playing for the Warriors or playing for the Cavaliers or playing for even the Miami Heat, because these teams have urgency and desperation right now, and that's what the LeBron stands they want to see. They want nothing more than LeBron to win another title, and the Lakers, that's not their top priority. LeBron James isn't. Luka Doncic is, and they're building around Luka. So what it would be most interesting and best for LeBron's basketball career would be for him to go to a place that is more closely aligned with his priorities in terms of success.
The other piece of it is this at this juncture, right, for the Lakers. LeBron should be used, and I think this is what you're alluding to. I think LeBron should be used as an asset, right? Like if you're the Lakers brass, it's your job to convince Luka and show Luka he's the most important figure. You have to show him that, hey, we're capable of putting a championship-level roster around you. Bringing LeBron back with him being the third guy does not make them a championship team. It just doesn't. So their best option at this point is a sign and trade to get back a guy that can be potentially more impactful than LeBron. But as the third option, you wonder, is that even possible? I think they're stuck between a rock and a hard place here, talking about L.A. I think they misallocated their cap space, giving that big money to Austin Reaves. A sign and trade for Austin Reaves is the route that I would have tried to go if I was the L.A. Lakers. Moving off of Austin Reaves to get multiple small ancillary pieces that really fit Luka Doncic, which is why Jared Allen's name continues to get thrown out. He is the rim-running lob threat that he has had throughout the course of his career. They don't have that. This to me is fascinating because I don't believe in Rob Pelinka. I don't believe in the Lakers. They run like a mom-and-pop shop. I want to look at – we tried to pull up Spotrac earlier. Denton, could you do me a favor here and try to look up the contract details of Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic? Because I continue to believe, like, Jokic hasn't signed an extension yet. That is something that's fascinating to me. I wonder if the Lakers play is maybe not for this year, maybe it's for next year. If Nikola Jokic becomes an unrestricted free agent, you try to bring him to Los Angeles. Outside of that, how do the Lakers, with their financial restrictions and their inability to draft and develop guys, how do they put together a championship team? That's the big point here. They can't.
The sadder reality, and maybe a better question to ask than that, other than joining OKC, San Antonio, or the New York Knicks, is there a place that LeBron could sign where you actually look at them and say, oh, they can win a title? Because I don't see it. If
the Warriors could bring back Porzingis, Horford, and have LeBron, Jimmy Butler, Pods,
No.
I think that's a team that could contend for a title.
Not going to be OKC and San Antonio.
I mean, look, I hear what you're saying, but that's why we play the games. Basketball isn't played on paper. On paper, yeah, I see what you're saying. But, like...
So, because he probably knows that in his heart of hearts, he'll return to the Lakers. He'll finish his career then. They can't contend for a title in the West, and he might even announce at some point this offseason a Kobe-esque farewell tour. And we'll do that song and dance again.
It pains me to think that this is a possibility. That's why I'm kind of annoyed that you're bringing it up, if I'm being transparent here. Because I don't want to see a league without LeBron. I don't want to see a league where LeBron's not in the championship conversation. It's not fun, but it's also signaling where we stand right now in the current landscape and culture of the NBA. We are ushering in new stars. Steph, LeBron, KD are beyond being on the back nine. They're on 18, if we're being frank about it, right? Like, if you were to tell me that LeBron, KD, and Steph weren't going to ever win a title again, the three of them, and I think you may have said this earlier in the winter, like,
Agreed.
I don't know
Don't think
if
they're
you're,
going to.
I don't think you're nuts for saying it the more that we really look at it, dog. And it's fascinating. And it's sad because
you got really mad at me when I said that, too.
I did, but now that I've gotten the chance to sit back and think on it, and why did I get mad? Because those were the three dudes. It's crazy. Me and my cousins earlier were having a conversation. Who are my top 5 favorite basketball players? Not like most talented, but like my favorite. And I said John Wall, Gilbert Arenas, LeBron James, Steph Curry, and then I put Wemby in there. But the argument was, why'd you put KD in there? Now Wemby's just entered the league. The point is, like, a lot of basketball fans have watched the greatness of those three for the past 20 years, and to see a league without them is going to suck. See a league where they're not competing for championships, it ain't the same. But we're getting new stars. That's what we're lucky with. We got Shea, we got Ant-Man, we got Wemby. The NBA is in great hands. It is.
310-840-4910 if you want in. So we're talking about how this might affect LeBron James. We're also talking about the fact it's a U.S. soccer game day, and we're trying to figure out, hey, are we a soccer nation? How do you even define such things? Johnny in Virginia wants in on that, 310-840-4910. Johnny, you're on Westwood One Sports Night. That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham. What do you have for us?
Johnny, are you walking out of the closet right now? What the hell was that?
I was walking on my deck. I'm at my house. My family's sleeping, so.
What part of Virginia?
Just up late night chilling? What's got you up this late, man?
No, I mean, I was just listening. So, like, I'm really into, not necessarily soccer, but I'm really into the World Cup. Like, my whole life. Like, I grew up.
Where are you
parents
from,
are from Mexico.
Are you from Mexico?
I'm from well, I live in Fredericksburg right now. I go to Manassas to work. I work overnights usually, but I'm at home right now. It's like my birthday the other day. I took time off work, so.
And that body clock still got you up, huh? I feel it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But no, my point is, I don't think the USA is a soccer nation, and the reason being is that, like, I don't want to get a little bit political here, but, like, how are you going to lock up some of the people who love soccer, their kids, in, like, camps? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Mexican American. My favorite sport to watch is, like, other than the NHL and the Commanders, is like Ovechkin. But, like, my main love is soccer. Soccer is a beautiful sport. Nationwide, worldwide, like, it brings people together. I don't understand how we can call ourselves, like, a soccer nation when we don't even, like, take care of, like, the talent. Like, you're not in Dallas, Texas, finding, like, you know, the people who want to be soccer players, like the people who want to be, and like, I'm trying to be a first-time coach for my son too. Like, he loves soccer. That's cool. I don't even push it on him. That's just like something he likes to do. I don't understand. Like, it just really bothers me, I guess, that like, we're not finding talent. Most of the talent is like paid, you know, like when you do travel soccer, it is beyond expensive. And I don't even want to get into logistics of it because it's like ridiculous. And I've heard some other people comment on the radio, but like, I just feel like, I don't know, it's misguided. You know, some of the people we're cheering for on the like the national team, I feel like half the country, like if you like talk to them, wouldn't even want them to be here. Does that make sense?
Okay. No, I do understand what you're saying, Johnny, and I appreciate the call from Virginia. But I will say this, and this is something to remember when it comes to the celebration of America 250 is coming up next week, the 250th anniversary. From a political lens, there are people that love what happens at any given time, hate what happens at any given time. But that period of time is still very compacted and very limited. You can still love the nation that you live in and love everything about it, even if you disagree to the 10th and 100th degree what might be happening in the Oval Office, regardless of what you voted for. So I would not let that, what happens in the political realm, discourage what's been done with American soccer, because the one place you should look at for optimism is not just the men's side, but what's happened since 1999 with the women's national team and how they've been so dominant and how many people and how we've discovered talent there and some of the stars. Carly Lloyd's been great as a studio analyst. So as tempting as it might be to have politics infiltrate every aspect of culture, I would discourage in doing that, both as we celebrate our nation next week with the 250th anniversary, but also in enjoying the World Cup as well. You don't need that to rob your joy.
No, well said. I totally agree.
By the way, he mentioned Dallas. I think we go to Benny in Dallas. 310-840-4910. 49-10 just seems like that's the proper way,
What
proper
up,
place
Benny?
to go. Benny, where are you at on LeBron?
One place you should look at for optimism.
And by the
Benny,
way,
turn your damn
should
radio down, Benny.
Turn the radio down, Benny. Benny.
They've been
This better not be Jamie Ben in Dallas.
there.
What's happening in Dallas, Benny?
Benny,
I
what
think
you
we
drunk?
might be too loud. How about we go to Los Angeles? It's only right we go to Los
Why do I
Angeles.
just
then
assume when
KJ,
people get nervous on the phone so drunk? That's bad on me. My bad.
KJ's in Los Angeles. KJ, you're right in the heart of it. What do you got on LeBron?
What up, KJ?
Like before, like 6 months before LeBron even made his decision to come to Los Angeles, I was wearing a LeBron jersey and people thought I was crazy. So now you see the results. I'm 1,000% sure LeBron is going back home. One, because even if he don't win, really LeBron doesn't have no ties to Los Angeles. He doesn't come out to the community functions. He doesn't come out to Altadena or Palisades for the fires. He's just basically here making his money, have 5 or 6 houses like 2 miles apart, but he's not really attached to the community. Yeah, he's making movies and all that, but one thing about you have to understand about our culture, he will always go back to his hood. You know why? Because the farewell tour will be amazing because that's where he's from. L.A. doesn't really care because they're Kobe fans, diehard. LeBron, like I said, you can't shake his hand. You can't meet him at a Starbucks. He's nowhere around, so we'll be kind of glad him and his son goes back home and we can get something going new.
By the way, thank you for the call, KJ. This is a real thing, Lynnell. The Kobe people that spent years arguing with folks on social media about LeBron, there's still some who haven't been bought in as Laker fans. And then you go into the community piece, and then you have like the rabbit hole you can go down. Was Kobe or was LeBron at the memorial and all that? Like this is a real thing that
There's
Laker
no
fans
way you
reckon
just
with.
brought up that ridiculous conspiracy that Bron didn't show up to Kobe's memorial.
Well, he just talked about the Palisades and all the others. I'm just saying that
that-
there are.
I mean, that's-
I'm telling you, it's a real thing that Kobe people who are Laker fans
Big
still
John.
aren't hip with LeBron.
Big John in the chat said he's got a filming and production company in L.A. This is what's
He does. There's no doubt.
This is what's fascinating about it all with the LeBron situation. Anybody in LA that's angry with him, he brought you all a championship. Be grateful for LeBron, because guess what? What the hell would Laker basketball be right now if it wasn't for LeBron? He came in and saved the Lakers. So if you're a Laker fan out there, you better not fix your mouth to say something negative about LeBron James. Are you kidding me? Where would they be as a franchise without him? Where would they be?
We talked with Doug McCain from 97.1, the fan out that way, new sports talk station affiliate of ours. And it's, again, a very real thing where you have the Kobe folks who still are entrenched in that even as LeBron plays there. But what's important to note is LeBron has spent 9 years with the Lakers. That's longer than any uninterrupted stint he's spent at his career with either Cleveland or with the Miami Heat. So that's kind of crazy to think about as well. Up next, we'll get to your calls, 310-840-4910. The best and worst picks of this year's NBA draft here on Westwood One Sports Night.
The NFL has decided Brendan Sorsby will not be entering the league this season. The quarterback will now have to focus on next year's draft in a potentially loaded class, including Arch Manning and Dante Moore. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
Lynnell, two big happenings center stage right now. The NBA draft wrapping up tonight. We'll get to the best picks. We'll get to the worst picks from rounds 1 and 2 momentarily. Also, it is a game day for the United States men's soccer team. U.S., Turkey, L.A., 10 p.m. Eastern time kick. And we're asking the question, is the United States a soccer nation? And predictably, opinions across the board. 310-840-4910. Let's go to Patrick, who's in my home city of Baltimore. Patrick, is the United States a soccer nation?
Absolutely not. I don't believe so.
Absolutely. Why? Absolute.
So I manage a German-American beer hall. So you would think soccer fans would be right up our alley with the clientele. We've been open 9 years now, so we've, gone through 2 World Cups. We're busy during the American games. We're kind of busy during the Germany games, but besides the World Cup, we've tried to throw events for Messi games with Miami, the other big rivalry games. We've opened early and no one cares. No one shows up. Maybe a handful of people here and there, but
Is that anecdotal though? Do you think maybe Baltimore's not America's a big place? I mean, we're going to say that's representative
I know, but
of the entire country.
Yeah, but we get crowds from DC. We're a metro area with, surrounding Philadelphia, DC, New York, those kinds of areas. I don't know. I just don't.
I hear you.
I think with the job that I do or the culture that, the place I work at tries to provide with people, you would think we would.
I hope you didn't have the Oriole game
on
from earlier today. That's what's most important to me. I hope that wasn't on the screen today because that was not very fun.
I wish it wasn't on as well, but you probably know the answer to that.
Thank you for the call, by the way. Ostros and Natty Bows will turn it around. Lynnell, people are I don't know why. Do you think they'd have the same objection for hockey and baseball? At least we haven't taken the calls yet from people who are saying, oh, it's just too slow. It's not tough enough. We're tough. We're too tough.
Yeah.
To be a soccer nation.
I understand when people say we're not, because we're just not good enough at soccer to be a soccer nation. It's where I ultimately go back to at the end of the day. When you look at the top 15 players in the world, how many of them are from the United States? It's that simple for me.
Okay. But you could probably do the same thing with hockey. You wouldn't say we're a hockey nation either. Gold medals in men's and women's hockey. The best players are Canadian. And from Russia and Europe. That'd be the argument back.
I don't know. It's a hard sell, is what I would say.
Ron's in Chicago. Ron, what do you say?
If I can make a general comment about the World Cup, particularly tying into a comment that you had made to a previous caller about separating politics and sports and all of that.
Sure.
It's all fine and well to tell people, ignore politics when it comes to sports. But sometimes sports forces it. Yes?
What are we doing here? You were here to talk about the World Cup. Do you not want to talk about the World Cup?
Right, but listen, hear me out. Sometimes politics forces itself on sporting events, and then it's hard to ignore. I mean, in particular, the problem, one of the things that I ordinarily follow the World Cup with great enthusiasm, but what has really killed my enthusiasm this time was this administration using the World Cup to put its racist policies on display for the whole world
All
to see.
right, there goes Ron in Chicago. Appreciate the call. See, again, sports is supposed to be the dessert. It's supposed to be that. And that's what we try to make it, man. It's not supposed to be the broccoli. It's not supposed to be all of that. I hope it's not being interpreted as picking sides. I do the same thing if it was the other side. I would, because this is the place that we're being united, and that's what it's supposed to be. That's sincerely what I would say from the bottom of my heart.
Oof.
Let's get to the NBA draft, why don't we? Best and worst picks. How about we separate it by round? So there's round 1, there's round 2. It's only 2 rounds. It's pretty simple. What is the best pick of round 1 in your opinion, Lynnell Willingham? What was your favorite pick from the first night of the NBA draft?
There are a lot of really good candidates. I liked a couple different value picks like later in the round. Like I love LeBaron Philon going to Philadelphia. I think that's exactly what they need, another shot creator. I think that's awesome. I love Cameron Carr. Initially drafted by the Knicks, but he's going to go to the LA Lakers. You want to talk about 3-and-D, what the Lakers have lacked. Like he fits like a glove with that team, and I think he provides something that they don't have. So I really, really like the Cameron Carr pick. Ibuka Corey, like I mentioned last night, was a guy I like, similar to Philon, more so with a Corey here going to Detroit. Like, think about what we talked about was the biggest Achilles heel all postseason long for the Detroit Pistons. They didn't have another guy outside of Kay Cunningham that could create offense and initiate offense for himself and others, man. And when he got trapped and the ball was forced out of his hands, it was Tobias Harris. Ibuka Corey was one of the best freshman guards in the country last year, and I don't think he gets the proper love that some of the other guys get.
Well, I was about to go down the Ibuka Okori train. You stole my thunder on that, so I'll let you. I agree with all of that. I'm right there with you on Ibuka Okori. Love the guy all throughout the year at Stanford. So how about I get to my least favorite pick of round one? My least favorite pick, Dallas taking Moretz Johnson. Just because Braden Burries, to me, you could make an argument to me, I'd listen to you. Outside of the top four, that guy has the highest ceiling of anybody in the draft. Outside of the top four. I loved him at Arizona. I thought the perfect place where he could have ended up is Dallas, because that's a team looking to make a jump and be competitive next year. And that is, outside of the top four, probably the most pro-ready teenager in this draft. And they needed shooting, and he could have provided it for them. And it does feel like that. And again, we won't never know the answer for this for sure. But it does feel as if, with Dusty May being the head coach at Michigan, that Moretz Johnson's the pick there. When if Dusty May isn't the coach, venture to say that Braden Burries is the pick by Masai Ujiri and Dallas.
That's a interesting hypothetical. It's speculative.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. For Moretz, like his range was 8 to 15. Like a lot of mock drafts that I saw had him in that 8 to 15 range. So him going 9, like, I don't love the player, if I'm being honest, but I do love his versatility defensively. Like I don't think his offensive game is what they need, but you look at a switchable defender, like he can guard fours, he can guard 1 through 4. So I like that about him. I mentioned this earlier briefly, right? This is something to me where you draft Moretz Johnson if you're Dusty May, because you're coming to Dallas to try to set a standard. Who knows your standard better than Moretz Johnson, who you've coached for the past couple years? So, excuse me, I like that. I like it from that standpoint. But as far as Dallas, I said it going into last night. They were the most intriguing team in round one because Masai Ujiri's track record and his ability to hit on surely lottery picks, but you look at the value with OG Anunoby, you look at the value with Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet. For him to go with Moretz Johnson at 9 is a little bit of a surprise in terms of who was on the board. I thought he could have got better bang for his buck, so to speak. What they did with pick number 30, trading it ultimately to Phoenix, I thought was interesting. Because they could have had Koa Pete, now he's not going to be in their building, and Koa Pete's got as much upside as anybody when it comes to this NBA draft. So,
rather than do least favorite picks of round 2, how about we just keep it on the positive end? Like, what's a pick that you had circled in round 2 that you liked?
There's a couple of them, and I think the second round has gotten. We've seen more guys have an impact in the second round in recent years. I like Trevin Brazil going to the Denver Nuggets. I think that's a guy who showed the
Arkansas
ability,
Razorback.
Stretch the floor, shot blocker, plays above the rim. I think he provides some athleticism to their front court that I don't think they have. And I think he's an interesting fit there. I really do like that fit.
See, man, there was that run
There's
of
a lot
Arkansas
of them to
players
choose
because
from.
Malik Thomas went in round 2, as well. That pick ended up traded to Cleveland. By the way, said that Isaiah Evans went to Brooklyn. That pick was traded to Minnesota as well. Things get a little convoluted in the second round. There are two that was really difficult to pick between that I like the most in round 2. Hard not to say Braden Smith. Braden Smith, career assist leader in the history of college basketball. And he's a kid that grew up undersized in the state of Indiana, where they love hoop so much. And he stays in the state, plays at Purdue. You want to talk about running the gamut in your career? How about losing to a 16 seed, getting to the national championship, and then making a couple other deep tournament runs and being maybe the most decorated point guard we had seen? Indiana brings in Braden Smith. So he gets to remain in the state of Indiana as a Pacer. Love that. And the other is Dylan Mitchell, just in terms of guys that can make an impact right away, second-round players. Boston, Brad Stevens, tends to do a really good job in identifying guys late first round and in the second round. Think out of St. John's, Dylan Mitchell is one to keep a close eye on. That's what we have circled there. See, Shams or Shams? What do you go with?
I go by Shams. Denton loves Shams. It's the Virginian in him.
No, I think he goes both ways. I think you either are Shams or Shams. Well,
Easy, buddy. Jeez Louise. Don't speak on my behalf like that.
I'm about to say it, bro.
On behalf of Shams/Shams and Denton, apologies. And, happy Pride Month. We got B-Dot joining us next hour as well. I don't know if this is the proper time to be teasing that. But LaMelo Ball is in the news. You'll hear why, and we'll react to it next to Westwood Sports Night.
What up, soccer fans? International soccer is taking over the U.S., and only DraftKings has you fully covered. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states. So with all the matches you love, all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code Westwood, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code Westwood in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. For Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus, void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings prediction involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in prediction dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks, expiring 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Prediction offer void in New York ends June the 28th. For more terms, visit dkng.co/audio.
The Washington Wizards made BYU's A.J. Debonza the #1 pick in the NBA draft. Will Debonza be the generational talent to bring a championship to the nation's capital for the first time in nearly 50 years? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
Lynnell, I'm gambling again. Just need to see if you support me in some of these bets we're about to place in a moment.
As long as you're not on your
important.
Brendan Sorsby, as long as you're not betting against Westwood One Sports, brother. You
We're
can gamble
not.
all you want.
I don't know. Kalshi are there some predictive markets about how many YouTube subscribers we can pick up?
By the end of
in the
football
next-
season, huh?
Let's figure that out. Get those numbers boosted up. To quote McConaughey, Wolf of Wall Street, those are rookie numbers. YouTube, Westwood One Sports Night. Ow! Boom. Okay, before we get to that,
That hurt my chest in a way that it shouldn't because I'm overly strong.
you are strong, very strong.
You don't know how
Shams.
strong I am.
I don't want
Shams
to
or
find
Shams?
out.
Oh,
Shams,
I like that.
Shams. He had a report about another massive star in the NBA that
Your
might be on the
favorite
move.
star in the
Giannis
NBA.
started the week. Yes, apparently my favorite star. Here was Shams' report.
Welcome back to Brooklyn. We're all here for the NBA draft, but we're quickly turning the page to free agency. So let's bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, I understand you have some breaking news.
Malika, we started the night talking about Boston's Jaylen Brown, and another star whose name is picking up steam in the NBA trade market here during draft week as we get closer to free agency is Charlotte's LaMelo Ball. Multiple teams are strongly pursuing LaMelo Ball right now. The Hornets are engaged, I'm told, and Ball had a strong finish to the season. It mirrored the Hornets' rise over the course of the last calendar year. Both sides have been in a good place. Ball does want to be in Charlotte, I'm told, but this is an organization fielding some aggressive offers. So if the price is met, he could very well be on the move. This is a developing story, potentially over the next 24, 48 hours.
24, 48 hours. LaMelo Ball, we could see on the move here. Shams, thank you so much for that insight. Well,
Thank you, Shams. Appreciate that.
Thanks,
Lynnell
Shams.
Willingham, what do you like about the potential of a LaMelo Ball trade?
Him going to a team that doesn't have ungrateful fans like yourself that would actually appreciate him. The key in the reporting
Hornet fans
is
like him. Most Hornet fans like him. I'm
Just
not a
not-
Hornet fan, but I'm just not a big fan of LaMelo.
you are going to continue to defend yourself on this, and I appreciate the effort to stick with the bit.
It's not a bit. I truthfully believe it.
Yeah, right. I believe, and we were talking about this during one of the breaks in the show that's not the show, like you like to call it. They're not shopping him. They're getting calls. Listen. This is my thought on it. I do not believe that they're shopping him. I think teams are being aggressive in calling for stars that they think potentially, may be available. Why would they think LaMelo potentially will be available? Now, that's a whole other can of worms and another conversation, which lends to the speculation of his maturity and things of that nature. But I think the reason that he is being talked about is a compliment to his talent. The Minnesota Timberwolves are aggressively pursuing him, according to the report, meaning they feel like he can be the piece that gets them over the hump to win a championship. That, to me, is a compliment to who LaMelo Ball is. You're not trading for LaMelo thinking you're not having championship aspirations. The T-Wolves are hot on his trails.
I
So
think
if you're
you said
Minnesota,
Memphis by accident.
oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, I think Minnesota makes a lot more sense. That
of
backcourt
course.
with Anthony Edwards?
Right, but it's a compliment to who LaMelo Ball is, to his talent. And to your point, and I'm going to say it in a lot nicer way, he's never been on a team where he's not the best player. He clearly wouldn't be the best player playing alongside Anthony Edwards. I wonder how he functions as a secondary playmaker. Can he play off of the ball? I know he's got the basketball IQ to cut and do things of that nature. And quickly, can I bring it up? This is technically supposed to be weird, but true too. Tina and LeVar Ball, Dunzo. Nobody's safe.
Oh.
He stayed with that woman through sickness and health while she battled strokes, and then LeVar gets his leg amputated, and she hits the road, Jack. I think it's kind of petty. I can't lie. It's a little bit wild.
I guess he's not undefeated, never lost anymore.
Ooh.
Sorry.
You really don't like the Balls.
I guess it's Ball in the family. I don't know.
One of the
Throwing it
best.
out there.
Honestly, it is Facebook's greatest reality series, Ball in the Family.
I do think the Hornets are shopping him. I just don't know what you get back. That's the problem. Like, what would you have to get back in a trade like this? This was something that Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer and I were talking about a few months ago, where I said I thought Charlotte would try to move LaMelo Ball. And his pushback was, I don't think Charlotte would get as much as you think, where it would be worthwhile to do it. And I thought, if Desmond Bane could get back what he got back last year,
5
not
runs,
saying
what
that's
was
what
it, 4?
Charlotte, crazy amount.
Yeah.
I don't think LaMelo would net that type of a return, but even something remotely close to it, I think would be enough for Charlotte to pull the trigger on it as a team that's angling for the future and probably wants Con Knipple and Brandon Miller to be the face of their team over LaMelo Ball. And by the way, here's the other bigger piece. How do teams in Charlotte's position, small market teams, go from being good to having a shot at winning a title? I think you have to trade away a player that other teams want in order to get there. Oklahoma City, Indiana, when they went to the NBA Finals last year, it was the same player. It was Paul George. Those Paul George trades is what elevated smaller market teams to having enough assets to compete with the bigger dogs. And I think that's what Charlotte needs to do, because if this year taught us anything, it's that there's a ceiling that you run into with that guy being the best player on your team. So while he's that, find a team that will be willing to give you something in exchange to help your long-term health.
Or if you're Charlotte, like, I look at, well, why not? Why is, and let me rephrase it. Again, contrary to what you're saying, I don't think they're shopping him. He's 24 years old. Where's the patience to grow with LaMelo? You just made the playoffs for the first time. You just had your best season since he's been there.
They didn't.
You just had your best. This is their best season since he's been there, correct?
No, because they went to back-to-back. They went to back-to-back play-ins.
Dude, they
early
dominated
on,
the
and then
Eastern
Borrego
Conference
got
in the
fired.
second half of the season, dude. This is the best Hornets team that he's been on since they've been here.
I agree. Okay, yeah, I'll agree with that. But
So
I'm
why
saying that
not-
they've been to the play-in a couple of times.
My thing is there's a lack of patience that I think gets shown within
7
NBA
years,
front
man.
office. Brother, he's 24, Josh.
I get it. It's 7 years, though. How much longer do you have to
He's
wait before you can make a move?
24.
7 years, man.
And how many they've had 2 good draft picks since he's been there. 2 in 7 years. They drafted 2
I think it's
good
enough time.
contributors. Talking about Brandon Miller and Buddy from Duke, Knipple. That's only 2 good Bamas they'd have drafted outside of LaMelo. So their team building hasn't been good enough. We want to talk about LaMelo. What about the team building of the Charlotte Hornets?
Not good enough. I'll agree. Both things could be true at the same time. Let's see what you think about my Rookie of the Year pick. It's time for Graham's gambling, because I'm gambling again.
Sitting back, count money all day, you know. It's time for Graham's Gambling. Let's make some money.
Cut it. If you're going to bring it, brother, you know how I have a, just like on grammar school, which you'll hear coming up in about 30 minutes here, I have a sky-high standard for how you introduce the #1 sports gambling segment in all of sports talk radio. What the hell are you doing again, Josh Graham?
I'm gambling again!
Sitting back, count money all day, you know. It's time for Graham's Gambling. Let's make some money.
You're going to hate this pick first, but I'm going to do it. It's un-American. I'm sorry. I'm taking United States team total under 1.5 goals at plus money, plus 104.
You think
I think they're benching guys. I think they might win 1-0. See, I didn't want to bet against the Americans,
which
I thought that. So I'm rooting for the 1-0, 1-1 draw, get the point. That's what I'm rooting for. So at plus money, that's what I'm going to do. The United States.
I like your thought process behind it, too, because they're sitting a bunch of guys. I get it.
That's it. So we're going with that. NBA Rookie of the Year odds.
Uh-oh, this is what I want to hear.
Caleb Wilson at plus 950. Give it all to me. You're giving the guy who was better head-to-head against the 3 guys drafting ahead of him the chip on his shoulder and all the shots he could ever want. Him and Josh Giddey get all the shots they could ever want. Oh, yeah, you got Matas, too. That's fine. But it's a nice fit for Caleb Wilson to put up some numbers. And at plus 950, that's crazy. I was looking at Darren Peterson plus 400s. I mean, Darius Acuff plus 450. It's not the
Can I ask you a
greatest
question?
value. Please ask me a question.
Where's Abuka Okoro?
See, you and I, we're on the same wavelength there, too. 200 to 1.
Plus 2,000?
No. Plus 20,000.
Plus 20. Dude, he's got the. I think he's going to have the shot to Tim's. Remember what
A
Malik
$1
Beasley
bet.
was?
You know what? We're doing this right now.
You wanna put it
$5
in?
bet makes $1 grand. A $5 bet makes $1 grand.
I'll send you 250. I'll send you 250. Because look, he's gonna have the opportunity, dude. Like I think, remember what Malik Beasley was to the Pistons before he got suspended for gambling. I think he can step into that role.
Emeka, or I almost did it again, where I made him the receiver of the
Emeka
Bucks.
Abuka, yeah.
I did that with Tom Haberstroh over the weekend. I was like, dude, you got to check out this guy. It's my favorite player in the draft. It's Emeka Abuka. He's like, I haven't heard of him.
Poor Tom.
Like, oh, shoot. I
Tom's
accidentally
probably like,
made him
wait.
the wide receiver of the Bucks.
The King of North Carolina.
Rather than talking about Abuka Okori, who I'm all in on. Abuka Okori, 200-1 odds. Caleb Wilson, plus 950. And the United States team total under 1.5 goals. Lynnell, thank you for indulging me in that. Here is how I'll make it up to you. There are 3 stories in the district that I need Lynnell's thoughts on. We need a district check-in with our guy Lynnell close to the situation, and that is next on Westwood One Sports Night.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
That's Lynnell Willingham, who just got a second wind at this late hour.
And I may have just...
Daht is going to join us in about 20 minutes. He'll take us to grammar school. That's always fun. Am I doing something flatly anti-American by betting the team total under 1.5 goals? Jeff in Dallas has a thought. Jeff, you're on Westwood One Sports Night. Should I feel grimy or gross?
I've got two things for you. Number one, I'm glad to see that you've re-embraced your degenerate nature. But at this point, betting on the U.S. men's team is like betting on preseason football. They have nowhere to go. They've already punched their ticket. They can't improve their position. Turkey is out. They can't improve their position. Basically, we're just looking to stay uninjured and not correct bookings. So I don't think it's un-American. I wouldn't touch that game with a 10-foot pole.
Unless you're betting against betting the team total under, right?
Well, even
That's why I
then,
called you a degenerate.
you never know what's gonna happen. Like Turkey might just lay down. Like we're better than they are anyways, so I would leave it alone. I could see a 1-0 game, but it could also be 4-0, or we could lose 2-0.
How much money were you going to put on this, by the way?
I already put a nice little 25er on it.
You put a 25 ball on it?
25er. I appreciate the call, Jeff. It's good to hear from you. No, here's what you need to know. This is for the health of people that are out there. I've had this conversation with folks in sports media who are like, aren't you worried about like addiction and all these things? Yeah, got to be careful. Like I never exceed $25 in bets. I never exceed $25 in bets, so that way it stays fun. It's kind of like fantasy football. You don't want to put too much in, so that way whatever the amount might be for you personally. And here's the other thing, Lynnell. I never take the money out. I just leave it in. Just leave it in, let it ride.
Brendan, I think your bet was something that should be, talked about as probably degenerate. Like, I thought the context that the last caller provided, you're just going to no-sell me calling you Brendan?
Why did you call me? I don't understand it. Is that a Step Brothers bit? Like Brennan is John? No, that's a Will Ferrell.
Nothing about us. Brendan.
Oh, Brendan. Why? Okay, so why am I Brendan? I'm very lost. Help me.
There's not like a story that's jogging your memory that had to do with a man named Brendan who very famously gambled.
Oh, Brendan Sorsby. Oh, sorry.
This 2 o'clock hour goes crazy, man.
It's late, man. Whoa. Brendan Sorsby. Yeah, I'm a degenerate gambler. Let's bet the horses.
Welcome back,
Let's do that.
Where you been?
I'm sorry, that's on me.
Man, oh man. But no. I think the last caller provided some context because you are a DJ
Thinking
and
of
you're
all my
betting on
friends
soccer
named
that
Brendan.
don't matter. You betting on
Well,
meaningless soccer.
Well, no, it's meaningful to Turkey or Turkey. They're trying to get some points. You know.
Can somebody can you type it in the chat how the spelling of turkey egg?
No, I'm telling you, that's how
turkey, like ham
it's
and
spelled
turkey,
turkey.
and then A.
That's it. Turkey A.
That's ridiculous.
And they want us to say it.
That's ridiculous.
Big turkey out there wanting us to say Turkey A. That's what they want.
Drake was
how about
rapping about Big Pharma on his. Oh, see, that's not how I thought it was spelled.
Well,
I thought it was.
Is it actually spelled that way?
Yeah,
See, now
that's
this
the correct
you're gonna,
spelling of it. It's T.
You're gonna really mess
You think he was
up.
going to put the wrong spelling of it in the chat? Did you think he was going to put the wrong?
Not
I gotta stop.
Denton's smarter than all of us.
I'm trying to take this show off the rails. I need to stop playing defense and chill.
How about we go to the district? Let's go to the district because there's a lot happening in your neck of the woods, Lynnell Willingham. What a time to be a Wizards fan because they drafted the #1 pick in AJ Debonsa. By the way, I don't mean this in a mean way at all. No, sincerely.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the greatest Wizard ever? Like, what is the bar to exceed? Like, what is the bar AJ Debonsa shooting for in the history of the Wizards organization? I guess if you go back to the Bullets, they won the title.
He's going to try to be the greatest Wizard of all time.
Who is that? Who is it right now?
Elvin Hayes, Wes Unseld, John
Wes
Wall.
Unseld, Elvin Hayes.
Okay, so we're talking Bullets days, late 70s, winning a title. Those are the greatest.
I was about to say something that would have gotten me. I don't even know if it would have gotten me canceled, but talking about the greatest Wizards, it made me think of the clip that's gone viral of John Wall talking about how him and Bradley Beal weren't that close off the floor. Shocker. One tried to be a family man to a ex-reality star who was on the Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm sure that's going great. And the other was throwing up gang signs at Rose Bar. I didn't mean that as a negative or a slight because John or anybody out there could be listening. I'm sorry. But
I'm a big John Wall fan.
It's also one of
You
the
should
best
know.
gifts in Wizards history is gang sign John Wall in Atlanta.
Honestly.
John Wall was involved in what many people consider, certainly this century, to be the greatest high school basketball game in North Carolina preps. He played for Word of God in Raleigh, North Carolina, going up against Ravenscroft High School, and the best player on the team at that point was Ryan Kelly, who went on to play at Duke. At that point,
man?
Yeah, he was dating Bill Cowher's daughter. They're now married. I think they have kids too. Ryan Kelly. Yeah, Bill Cowher was at the game. It was jam-packed out, and Ryan Kelly's Ravenscroft team beat Word of God, which doesn't exist anymore, and John Wall that night, way back in 2010. 17 or so years ago.
Had some crazy teams.
Mm-hmm. So that
Need to
that
check the
comes
birth
to mind.
certificates at that school. That's what I would say.
Probably. After the Austin Reaves, so your answer is we're going back, way back. We're not going recent. John Wall, Gilbert Arenas.
Heck no. No, one's got hardware, baby.
All right. After the Austin Reaves deal, how does it change the way you feel about Trae Young's contract?
Man, and I'm glad you brought this up because I have a message for the second time this week. Those folks that get up on their platform and flap their gums about what the Wizards aren't going to be and how this isn't going to work, it exposes your depth of knowledge about basketball. Anybody that's followed the new Wizards brass since they've gotten to town, they have quite literally batted 1,000% from the plate. Batting 1,000. They have hit and got on base with every move they've made, from trades to draft picks, etc. So, to use a phrase that I coined during the 2024 NFL draft season to describe one Adam Peters and who Washington was going to go with at number 2 overall, we at that time with the Commanders had gotten the most highly sought-after talent evaluator on the market. AP was clearly the most sought-after GM, right? Because of that, you trust them. We got real basketball people in the front office for the Wizards for the first time in damn near 30, 40 years. We're at the mercy of the evaluator. Whatever the Wiz Vengers choose to do, and when I'm talking about the Wiz Vengers, I'm talking about Michael Winger, the general manager. I'm talking about Will Dawkins and Travis Schlenk. Those three dudes are responsible for putting the Wizards back on the map. I think we'll see it by way of regular season wins this year. Trust what they do. The contract's not bad. People just want to dunk on the Wizards because they've earned a terrible reputation as one of the worst organizations in pro sports over the past 50 years.
Let's use Adam Peters, San Francisco, and the Washington district area as a segue to Brandon Ayuk, Niners receiver, who seems to have the Washington Commanders in his sights. Here was Brandon Ayuk on his social media this week.
And if I'm crazy or if I'm capping, them boys cut me today. And I'll sign with the Commanders tomorrow. And we'll see who gapping.
Jaden Daniels apparently wants this to happen too. So Lynnell, left hand up. How excited would you be to see this?
Cringe.
Brandon Ayuk?
No, you
is a
left
cringe
hand up.
move for
No. You putting your left hand up. I told you how I felt about that.
but left hand up. Go Commanders.
No, you're a Panthers fan. You can't do that.
Bryce Young, 98th of the NFL 100. What up?
I'm surprised that wasn't the lead of the show here tonight. Listen, I think Brandon Ayuk, and I've said this the whole time, because of his unwillingness to be very direct and straightforward, telling his side of the story, it has opened up the doors for ridiculous speculation about him. People saying he's got CTE, people saying he's a bad apple, people are stupid enough to compare him to Antonio Brown. The conversation has gotten out of hand when it comes to Brandon Ayuk. But it's partially on him, right? Perception is 99% reality. He has not done everything in his power to change the perception of him because of these cryptic social media posts. San Francisco.
You don't think he's trying to do the Antonio Brown, James Harden, let me act a fool so you have to release me move?
I mean, they're going to release him anyway, whether he made the videos or not. That's the thing, you know? He's never – John Lynch has come out on the record and said he will never play again for the Niners. All that's fluff. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line is they're going to cut him regardless. What I think the cryptic messages are is his, I'll admit, his unsmart way of trying to get his side of the story out. And there's been limited reporting on his side of the story. But I thought some audio that we got from Niners tight end George Kittle, yesterday I believe he was on a Barstool show, and was basically trashing Brandon Ayuk. But while he was trashing him, he divulged that, the last time I saw Ayuk was week 6, 7, 8, and he was hitting 23, 24 miles an hour on the GPS tracker. Looked good, but that was 8 months ago, so who knows. San Francisco alleged, if you go back and listen to Kyle Shanahan pressers, he was asked about it every week, the potential return of Brandon Ayuk. When asked why Ayuk had yet to be cleared, what hurdles he still has to clear, you know what Kyle Shanahan and company said? He did not hit the numbers on the GPS tracker. Ding, 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 ding. Red flag, red flag. Kyle Shanahan's ass is a liar. So is John Lynch. They're petty. They're silly. And that's why his ass can't win the big game. Point blank. They're relying on this old-ass Niners team, relying on Mike Evans and George Kittle off of an Achilles tear in January to come back and beat somebody. The Niners are making themselves look like a joke of an organization, and I can't wait once again until the entire truth comes out about this situation, because they're not free of blame in this at all, despite what the national media continues to portray.
Here's my hot take. You ready? I don't think Brandon Ayuk's good enough to care this much about it. I don't think he's going to make that much of a difference regardless of which team he plays for. I think receivers are luxury items for teams that, you have a quarterback on a rookie deal or whatever. I don't think this guy was anywhere ever close to being top 10 in receiving yards for anybody. Yeah, the Kyle Shanahan offense and the rushing and all that, that's all good and well. I think the best was he finished 22nd in 2022, 22nd in receiving yards. I don't think.
How about the fact that he had a whopping 18 yards a catch in 2023 when he had 1,400 yards receiving and led the NFL in yards per catch? And when you think about it, in a run-first offense, spearheaded by Christian McCaffrey, for him to put up those type of numbers with the lack of targets that he got, he for damn sure is a top 10 wide receiver in this league without a shadow of a doubt. Not even close. He is legit. You don't just wake up and average. So you're saying averaging 18 yards of reception on 14
3 years ago? You said top 10 easily. I can name 10 receivers. We can do this. Jackson Smith and Jigba, better.
Talk about 3 years ago. He got hurt in 2024, brother.
I know.
And he missed last year.
I'm going to say the name of a receiver. You tell me if Brandon Ayuk's better than this guy. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
No.
Jamar Chase.
No.
Justin Jefferson.
No.
CD Lamb.
No.
Drake London.
Yes.
Okay, he's better than Drake London. Okay.
Yes.
How about
He is.
we do DK Metcalf?
Yes. I would take
He's
Ayuk
better
over
than DK Metcalf.
Has DK Metcalf ever had 1,400 yards receiving? And he's always been the number one wide receiver and option on his team. He gets more targets than him. Yes, he's better than DK Metcalf. 100%. And by the way, just to answer the question, no, DK Metcalf has never had 1,400 yards receiving or averaged 18 yards a catch. Amon-Ra?
Yeah. Amon-Ra.
If he got the damn target share that Amon-Ra did, yeah.
A.J. Brown.
No.
Okay, 5. So we're at 5 right now. Okay. So you do believe this. Okay.
You do
Puka.
believe this.
Puka
It's an
Nacua.
amazing line.
Forgot about Puka.
No, he's not better than Puka. But who's a bigger headache? Who's a bigger headache, him or Puka? Puka. 100%.
Well, Teteroa McMillan.
Yeah, he's better than T-Mac.
I mean, he has Bryce Young throwing him the ball, though. I mean, that should be even more impressive.
He should get docked for it, right?
Malik Neighbors.
No.
Okay. So we're at 7. We're making our way up there. We're getting there. Chris Olave or Ibuka.
No. He's better
the actual Ibuka.
He's better
Emeka Ibuka. Okay.
I'll take him
Cooper
over
Kupp.
Kupp.
You would
Yeah,
take
better
him at
than
this
Kupp.
point over
Better
Cooper
than
Kupp. George Pickens.
No.
Okay, so we're pretty much at 10. Okay, he's borderline top 10. There you go.
So but the point is, though, you damn right he has got the talent to act this way. Yes. It's justifiable. The brother can play without a shadow of a doubt. And he's never been in an offense where, one, he's the clear-cut number one guy. Because, remember, he's sharing targets with Debo. He's sharing targets with Kittle. He's sharing targets with McCaffrey out of the backfield. Sharing targets with Jawan Jennings. Yet he put those numbers up, Josh. That's my whole thing. Like, I think the general public is asleep at the wheel for, like, are y'all forgetting? On the Iceman album, Make Them Remember is, to me, the best song. And Drake goes, y'all forgot about Drake. Y'all forgot where I'm from. Y'all forgot about Drake. Y'all forgot I'm the one. Y'all forgot about Brandon Ayuk. 110%. Brother can play. Run after the catch. Route runner savant. Can take the top off. Contested catch guy. What can't B.A. do?
He can't tease this segment as well as I'm about to do it. B-Dot apparently texted a first-round NBA draft pick telling him where he was going to go, and he was right. That and grammar school when the most entertaining guest in sports talk joins us next.
The U.S. men's national team is cruising. They've clinched first place in Group D. Can they finish Group Play 3-0? U.S. versus Turkey. Tomorrow night, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
As the most entertaining guest in sports talk, Daht joins the program. That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham, by the way. Westwood One Sports Night. I want the audience to have as much information as we do. Daht is based in Charlotte, North Carolina, but his connections go well beyond the state and the worlds of sports and entertainment. After his hometown Charlotte Hornets drafted Christian Anderson out of Texas Tech last night, Daht texts me, quote, "I talked to Christian earlier and told him he was going to be a Hornet. I didn't ask any follow-ups. I just said, we on for tomorrow?" He said, yes. So I've bottled up my curiosity all until this moment. Daht, what the hell?
Man, 2021, Josh, I'm always hosting something sports related in North Carolina, and CP3 has an event every year called CP3's Rising Stars. And it's just the best of the young high school cats that come into the area, and they drop buckets. And 2021, I got the chance to meet Christian Anderson. Another gentleman that was at that same camp went by the name of AJ DeBonster. AJ DeBonster was in the dunk contest at the event, and I did the hosting for the dunk contest, and he put on a Terrence Clark jersey. I'll let your listeners go and do their own homework on who Terrence Clark was. Yeah, but he put on a Terrence Clark jersey, threw up the number 5, and went and did a remarkable dunk. I was like, who is this? And they was like, that's AJ DeBonster. He's going to be in the NBA one day. And I bet damn, but they wasn't right. But it was this little kid, man. He was like 5'8", Josh, and he was just lighting everybody up. And his name was Christian Anderson. And I just went and met his pops. And his pops was like, yeah, we're from Germany by way of Atlanta. We stay in Atlanta now. And I was like, man, your son is phenomenal, man, just to be that size. And I was like, I'm just going to keep up with him. So we exchanged Instagrams, Christian and I've just been supporting him ever since. So, like, we'll just talk every now and then in the DMs or whatnot. And I don't know, I was just hearing different people talk about it. That 18th pick, Christian Anderson could come to Charlotte. And I was like, man, that would be so lit. So I sent them a DM like, Christian, if you come to Charlotte at that 18th pick, I'm going to lose my ish. I'm going to lose it, bro. Like, wherever you're going to be proud of you. But I'm going to lose it if you come to Charlotte. And lo and behold, man, at the 18th pick, man, the Hornets drafted him, and I sent them a DM. I told you. He still ain't responded because, of course, I'm sure he's still celebrating with family and just going crazy. But yeah, man, like, I'm very excited to have Christian Anderson, one of the best shooters in the draft, to come to Charlotte, man. And, I think the draft knocked it out. I mean, the Hornets knocked it out the park again in the draft, man. Arguably the best rebounder and arguably the best shooter to team up with arguably the flashiest point guard in the league with the best three-point shooting rookie in the league. Like, we're building some great things in Charlotte, man. Tickets are selling right now, man. You're more than welcome to jump on this bandwagon.
We're okay. I promise you, we're fine. There's a new bandwagon that folks should be jumping on. This is about to become a rivalry between me and you.
You're more than welcome to get on the bandwagon.
I can see it happening.
Belt to the Wizards, though. I'm not going to put belt to the Wizards. Know that. Belt to the Wizards.
This is going to become a rivalry. I think are we like Southeast Division rivals? Are we in the same division? We get to see y'all like 4 or 6 times a year. I cannot wait.
When we think about rivals, we think of Orlando. We think of Miami. Nobody thinks of the Wizards. Nobody thinks of the Bullets. Nobody thinks of anything.
It's extremely cute. I cannot wait until AJ DeBonster dunks on Steinbach later this year.
Trae Young, $220 million.
Because he's that guy. Because he's that guy.
What? That guy that can't get you past nothing. It's over for y'all. Y'all are squad.
25 and 10 for the career. They act like the brothers washed.
Trae Young ain't no mellow ball. Know that.
Bro, he is no Melo ball. You can't get me to say a bad thing about Melo.
All right. This, by the way, is the stuff that the NBA draft commentary was missing on TV. Basketball people having basketball conversations is exactly what I wish we had more of. That is B-Dot, who's with us here. You said he didn't reply since the text, but you just sent me the exchange that you had before. He's being cagey. He said, we'll see how everything goes. I think Christian Anderson probably knew where he was headed. Or maybe had an idea of the Charlotte Hornets' interest prior to that. That just means you're going to have to get a jersey now, though, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. I definitely got to get me. Wasn't it awesome how they got 2 guys from Germany? Like, was that like the organization for Charlotte is really knocking it out the park the last 4 to 5 years, man. Like, I'm really hoping that we keep Kobe White. Got to keep Kobe White in a Charlotte Hornets jersey. But again, Christian Anderson is going to be that type of player to relieve Melo Ball when he comes off the bench. And I'm excited to see Christian, though. I'm really excited. He's been playing above his years. 4 years, so I think it's a great pickup for the Hornets.
Can I tell you another reason why it's funny that Charlotte drafted a couple of the guys from Germany?
Why?
Number one, like there were already all the jokes that Charlotte has all these white guys on their team, and Christian Anderson, while not a white guy, Haynes certainly is, or Hans is certainly that, and you have Con Knipple, so you have all these jokes. It was Liam McNeely, it was Ryan Kalkbrenner. You get the jokes about the Fundamental Four and all these others that are.
Is that what they were going by? The Fundamental Four?
There's some stuff.
Sadly, there was.
Yeah. Right. You also have the World Cup going on, and North Carolina, specifically where I live, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, has been hosts to one of the tournament's best teams, the German national team. And a funny development has happened in the past week where Germany's been here for the last 2 months. Some of the locals are starting to root against Germany. They want Germany out of the tournament. Why? A buddy of mine confirmed this. They are members at this local pool, like my buddies are, and the German national team has it exclusively rented out for the next 2 months. So they're waiting for the German national team to be eliminated from the World Cup so that their summer can begin and they can have access to their pool.
Hey, well, the people at Waffle House, they wait. They love the fact that Germany's there.
Exactly.
Them Germans been up in Waffle House and Walmart, man, looking like they at Disney World.
I'm telling you.
48. You hear me? I'm talking about just looking around and just wow, and just putting their finger in the syrup and just it's amazing.
It's amazing what we have here.
No,
the Texas
man.
Roadhouse bit to me is still the craziest thing. Them treating Texas Roadhouse like it's Nobu, like.
But just imagine, God, I can man. It's them biscuits at daggone Texas Roadhouse.
Whoa. It's not, but it's the whole kill, right? It's not even about the bread itself. It's the cinnamon butter. The cinnamon butter is the star of the show when it comes to the Texas Roadhouse roll, and for sure.
Dot, where would you send internationals? Let's say can I hear that impression one more time, Lynnell, of somebody who's visiting the United States for the
I'm coming here to the United States from a different country. Where would you take me?
Yeah, Dot, where are you directing them?
Oh, we're going to Onyx.
We're going to Onyx. Where you do that?
Onyx. That's like Onyx. Yeah, Onyx. That's where the women take their clothes off.
They're naked. They walk around. Naked. They walk around naked.
They walk around naked. They do. Ooh, yeah, and then after that, we'll go to Cookout, and you can have like three entrees and a milkshake.
You want to do a barbecue after we see them naked?
For $9.
Yes.
A naked barbecue.
50 cents. You can have 3 entrees and a milkshake, or a sweet tea that you can have left over overnight, and the next morning the ice is still frozen.
It's equivalent of about 150 quid. Some of that. This is probably a great segue to the fun that will be had as we do each week with B-Dot here. We play grammar school. Dot, would you like to explain the happenings and the rules of grammar school?
Before Dot goes, I'm sorry, Dot. I just want to apologize, Josh, for my disdain towards you during this segment, specifically grammar school. I went back and watched the film because that's what we do here on Westwood One Sports. We're watching the tape. We're trying to get better constantly. I have been extremely critical of your performances as of recently, and you actually haven't performed that bad. Now, if you happen to do poorly today, I just want to know, the audience probably sees I'm in a different location right now, so I cannot be my normal angry self at you when you screw up. But know that the pressure's on, pal. The pressure's on.
You could just be helpful. That's an idea.
You don't use the help properly. You're like me whenever I get advice from someone that's older in my family. I have this weird bit of like, I feel like for whatever reason, you like listen to your friends and other adults more than you do your actual family sometimes because you think that your family doesn't know no better at certain points. Sorry, fam bam. But yeah, like, you pick up what I'm putting down there. Sometimes the best advice, like you got kids, right? Sometimes, what you say may not hit the same, but if I said it to them, maybe it may hit a little bit different because you dad,
Happens all the time. So, yeah.
All right. Well, Dot, would you like to explain the rules before we get going?
Absolutely, man. I give Josh 2 words or phrases from the urban vernacular, the urban demographic, and I give him 3, and if he gets 2 out of 3 correct, he gets a satisfactory grade. I give 3 regardless. But today we're switching it up a little different.
Oh yeah.
I've gone words of the DMV for my bro Lynnell over there. But today, Josh, I need you to understand that there's music. There's music that we have that are hymns in the urban demographic, songs that are just traditional songs. Now, hold up 5 fingers, Josh, before we get started. Hold up 5 fingers. If you've heard, hold up 5 fingers, Josh.
Is this like the left hand up Commanders thing?
No. Hopefully you'll get there. Put down 1 finger if you've heard of this artist, okay? Jay-Z.
Oh yeah.
What?
If you've heard of
the artist, yes, Jay-Z.
Hold on, Josh. Your hands are so awkward, by the way.
I was trying to figure out what end of the hand to put the finger.
This is the easy part, Josh. This is just to make sure that you'll do great on the game. Future, Meek Mill, Boosie, Jeezy.
It's the same person as Lil Boosie, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
Jeezy. Okay, so boom. So you at least know the artists that have created the hymns for our culture. Okay, so are you ready? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna read you the words that you should know. You tell me the artist that performed this hymn. Okay.
Oh my God.
Did you just name them? Do I have like the multiple choice available?
In those 5, 3 of the artists are in those 5. That was your
my
hint
God,
for me.
Josh. I'm gonna tell you what. The hint that he just gave you. This is like when you take the training wheels off of a bike.
Here we go, Josh. Up first, dirty syrup in the styrofoam. Spend a day and get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Who said that?
Boosie.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's wrong because he's shaking his head already. But
100% incorrect. Lynnell, let him know who said that, please.
Should I have to?
I mean,
let's let the chat. This is where the chat gets a chance to be interactive. Everyone right now, blow up the chat with who that artist was, because clearly Josh Graham. And you're in a lot of stadiums and in a lot of arenas, and this song is a cult classic, especially during your favorite month of the sports calendar.
Yeah, the song is that.
For some reason, I thought that was a part of "Wipe Me Down" with like the way he was saying it. So sorry.
Yeah, it's actually a song called March Madness.
Okay, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. How ridiculous that last thing was.
I know Boosie songs. I mean,
you thought that was "Wipe Me Down"?
I thought it was part of a verse. I thought it was part of a verse. I'm sorry.
All right, are you ready for your next one?
That's embarrassing. Don't call on me.
Patty cake, microwave. You circles make a square. Goddamn, I'm paid.
I told you don't ask me, and I think you should take heed to my advice. Seriously.
You don't know this either?
You might as well just take this one on a chance. So you already lost for the day. That's a damn shame. All because, and you know what's crazy? Daht routinely, it's because he loves you. Y'all fan bam. It's all good. He gives you the layup at the beginning, and you routinely miss it. Routinely. It's like when a quarterback, it's like when an OC.
I'm going to take a loophole then. Here's my loophole. I'm going to use my lifeline, but I'm not going to Lynnell. I'm going to go to Denton. Denton. Who sang it, Denton?
I'll be honest.
That would be Jeezy.
So what we also just figured out, and we already knew this, but Denton Day 1,000% blacker than Lynnell Willingham.
He knows ball.
If we're being real, from a music sense for sure. I always say that me and him share a sports brain. We low-key share a music brain as well.
I'm alive.
But no, this was a part of me shaming you. This is still the shame factor here. An offensive coordinator, a lot of times when they got a young quarterback, what do? Daht? Let me get a screen call for him. Let me throw bro a slant. He gives you a slant or a screen every week, and you throw an incompletion.
Hey, here's the thing. This is a good reminder. Denton jumping in right there. We're not saying this isn't Afrocentric. This isn't black.
No.
This is urban. So folks who are out there saying, "Oh, this is racist." No, it isn't.
No, they're saying it's racist. Kiss my black ass. That was racist.
Urban vernacular is what we're talking about. Yeah.
No, seriously, I'm so glad that Double D comes out and answers that with such swiftness and He was so disgusted with Josh that Josh didn't do it. That lets you know this ain't race specific, dog. This is 100% urban hip hop music.
To quote Rasheed Wallace, white people, black people, big people, little people, all of them, everybody. Okay.
All right. Don't try to deflect. Yeah, don't try to deflect. You got.
So for the record, can we let the record state you do not have any more lifelines?
Correct.
This is it.
And this is for the game.
For the game.
There we go. Come on, Josh.
I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this. So I had to grind like that to shine like this.
Jay-Z.
Is that your final answer?
It isn't. That's not Jay.
Is that your final answer?
Hold one sec.
I got to go, guys. I mean, you are not going to continue to. You're embarrassing me at this point. Because Daht looking at me like, okay, and we'll be real. We'll be transparent with this. You are.
Can I be honest for a second? Can I be honest?
You don't ever have to ask to be honest, Lynnell.
That's true. I forgot. I forgot who you asked me about at the start. The only three I could remember was Boosie, Jay-Z, and Young Jeezy. Those are the three that I remembered that I was asked at the start. So
Daht, because he hasn't officially answered the question yet, can you repeat the phrase?
Yes, the phrase is simple.
Can you put some twang on it?
Okay. I used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this, so I had to.
It's Meek. It's Meek Mill. It's Meek Mill. It's Future. It's Dreams and Nightmares. Dreams and Nightmares.
Ho.
No. We already did Future.
Final answer.
Meek
Can
Mill,
we lock in the final
Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. Okay.
Is it your final answer?
It should count. It should be a win because I also gave the song too. Yes. Yes.
That is correct, and it is a satisfactory grade. Congratulations, Josh Graham. Lynnell saved you. Lynnell saved you.
You make me when you bounce back this way, it's perseverance at its finest, man. You want to talk about your shot not falling all night tonight, and then when it's time to really, close things out, Josh Graham with a big bucket. There we go, man.
What Jay-Z lyric would you have done if you had a Jay-Z lyric in there?
Can
I tell you my favorite Jay-Z lyric?
Sure.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Well, let me handle my business. Damn.
Yeah, he wasn't even going to continue it. That was the whole thing.
Oh, no. I was.
Oh, no, he was pacing himself. Yeah.
Okay. You know what I've really stumbled upon recently? My favorite Jay-Z song, I think, is You Don't Know.
Really?
I sell ice in the winter. I sell water in hell. I am a hustler, baby. I sell water to a whale.
I like Heart of the City.
Ain't no love in the heart of the city. Mm-hmm. Ain't no love.
That You Don't Know, though. We talk about music that lasts the test of time. If he was to drop You Don't Know right now, it would go number one.
And when he does it in Brooklyn, when I'm up there in July, I can't wait. I'm there Saturday and Sunday. Turn me up.
By the way, Daht, when we hop off here, I got a question for you.
Hashtag yacht.
Hashtag yacht.
That's a late night on air. You up? ? All right, Daht. We love you. Thanks for doing this. Do you want to punctuate this segment the right way?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tickets are very cheap right now. Hop on that Charlotte Hornet bandwagon, you.
South Beach is going Greek. Yeah! The Miami Heat have won the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes, acquiring the two-time MVP in a blockbuster deal that includes Tyler Hero. Can Giannis restore Heat culture and put Miami back in the title picture? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Josh Graham and Lynnell Willingham.
That's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Josh Graham. We'll put this show to bed in just a moment. Make sure if you haven't already, you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, Westwood One Sports Night. Like, comment, and subscribe. All that helps with the algorithm and things, so we would appreciate that greatly. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you can subscribe to Westwood One Sports Night as well. Appreciate P-Dot's time. Do want to say, shout out to my Carolina Hurricanes. For those watching on YouTube, I got my championship gear. The shirt says it's still going to be delivered in July, but I got my Carolina Hurricanes Stanley Cup champion hat. I thought the stuff on the ice looked ugly, like the shirt and the hat that the players are wearing. So I decided to go with a different style cap. Is that sacrilege, or should you, if your team wins the title, go
you
for
should just probably go
the
with
hat that they wear?
The merch that everybody else wears, I guess, makes it official. I guess, but if you feel like the swag of this hat is better, I can't knock your hustle down.
It does. I mean, it is a swaggier hat. I don't think there's any question about it. And it makes the frustrating Orioles season that this has been all the more easy to stomach, thanks to my team winning it all. So those are my two teams. I know you're convinced I have many more.
Well, we know that you
Those are
do.
the
You're
two.
doing like an undercover bit, and I understand it.
But what's the value, though? Explain. Like, let's see this all the way through. Like,
of
what?
the mind, Josh?
You get to hide from the pain. Like, you don't have to deal with. You get to. I don't have to deal with any pain publicly. We know you. You deal with the pain of the Carolina Panthers, but you don't have to be forward facing with it.
See, now this year, I actually will be the first year since 2017 that I haven't had to go to the games. So
I know. Perfect time for you to come back out of the woodworks.
But you're definitely going to go to the game still.
Am I?
You're not going to go to
If I'm going to be on late Saturday night and I'm going to like ride an hour and a half to get there.
Oh, it's an hour and a half to get to Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's
I live
nothing
in
like
Winston-Salem,
being
where the happy people are from.
the happy people. I just am thinking of like, from your perspective, I know how you get in terms of you the Kang. They expecting you there.
Maybe. So I mean, we'll pick and choose.
Wasn't that your
maybe
whole
some
bit of
games.
the you weren't a fan anymore because you were covering them? So now you're not covering them. Now you're a fan again.
I guess there is a lane where I could if I wanted to be, but I'll have to feel something. We'll see if I feel something. All right.
When are you going
let's
to tell
close.
the people that you're actually a fan, though? Seriously.
If I actually am sincerely rooting for them, I will own it. I will own it. I'm not there yet. Let's close out today's program by putting the show to bed. Be so funny.
Every now and then there's
Josh
a
is
story that makes it feel like I'm not living my life as recklessly as I probably should be. Are you familiar with a woman named Kelsey Fendler?
No.
So she is massive on TikTok. I think she's on Instagram too, but I see it on TikTok. She's becoming her goal, and she's going to do it. She's very close to accomplishing this goal. She is attempting to become the first woman to solo row from California to Hawaii.
Arms big as hell.
Arms big as hell. Now, granted, this is not like your traditional like canoe. Okay. Yeah, there's like an enclosure. She sleeps in the boat. It's a big boat. I think there might be a little bit of help with the rowing, but not like an engine. You know what I mean? Like she's doing the work, but there's like some infrastructure that makes it a little bit easier to get from California to Hawaii. But I see some of this stuff, and I'm like, because she's one of us, you know, and I'm like, I'm not living my whiteness recklessly enough.
Yeah, one of us. OOU.
Yeah,
have you ever rowed, fellas? Either of you?
Denton rows every
ever
week.
Rowed a boat?
Multiple times a week, don't you?
I do go to rowing classes.
I've ever
So
rowed
it's just
a
the rowing
boat
machine.
gently down the stream.
It's just the
I've never-
rowing machine. Like, have you ever like rowed a boat? Like, have you been in a
kayak and a
boat
canoe?
rowed?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It's
See,
not
I've
30s.
I've done that. Every time I go to Myrtle Beach, like we'd race. Me and my brothers would race and kayaks.
I have my own stand-up
you can win.
paddleboard. I'm about that water life.
For whatever reason,
I didn't pin you as being a
got
water life
layers.
guy.
Dude, he's hairy. All hairy people love water because it like
What?
slicks their hair down on them.
For reference, he's talking about bodily hair because there's not a lot of hair on top of my head.
No. Well, I will
Interesting.
say, you've been rocking out with the grow back recently, and it's been a vibe.
Oh, he's got rowback gear?
He's got new growth.
Now he's talking about my hair because I don't cut it. I get lazy.
The fact that you cut your own hair, though, is such a flex. And you do a good job. And it's going to be moisturized and shiny.
I go to a salon.
The fact that you just called it a salon, like Josh, end the show. I mean, come on. Give me a break.
Wait, I've been
It
to
is a salon, though. It's not a barber shop. It's a
It was
salon.
to bleach my hair, though. You said
I'd rather have women cut my hair than dudes.
That was when it was Denton Hendry.
I went Super
Yeah.
Saiyan.
What an error, yes.
Oh man, I
Am I rude for-
loved Dragon Ball Z back in the day. This might be a place we could connect over that and Batman, D-Day. We have that together.
Let me know when you're getting your Dragon Ball Z tattoo. We can connect over that.
When I went to Myrtle Beach for the first time, I got one of those sprayed T-shirts that you get on the boardwalk, and I got a Vegeta Super Saiyan.
I thought you were going to say you got a spray tan. I was about to say, damn, can't tell.
Nah, get one of the spray T-shirts. That's what we do. That is Lynnell Willingham. From Lynnell and I, my name Josh Graham, and from Michael and B-Dot and D-Day. Drake Toll's on the way. This has been Westwood One Sports Night.
This is Westwood One Sports.